to pick good fights.
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late. I know we're 20 minutes in the game one. 10 minutes in. My alarm didn't go off.
Right, they've been in that position.
But so far Genji was just
particularly, and the big thing for me
up
is
300
that
gold.
and Chovy are still in a great position here.
It's Korea, China, so
falling behind a decent amount in CS just due to movement on the map. The fact that he wasn't able to get to the wave towards topside earlier on thanks to the shove from Bin. I do agree with you though, Fetty. I think for Gen.G, you're sitting just pre-first item spike for Chovy and Keen. You might let this one go. They're firing off an ultimate, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't want to risk it. If they can find hard engage with Lahenzo and blow up one of these 80 carries, a lot of damage for BLG gets taken away.
We saw in the previous fight, Elk is important to this equation. Nice initial lockup, arrow going in, TPR to use.
Oh shit! Nice engage.
Lahen shrugging that one off.
Lahen's tanky G.
Trying to disengage with the gold card. Bin off to the side, not sure if they want to pick this fight. The Dragon was the objective, BLG forced to respect it.
I mean, Gen.G with just great control. They didn't even allow the fight to happen. Could Knight change this? Threatening Canyon. As he's going to be able to walk past Knight, though, just at the very edge. BLG don't want to give away absolutely everything. They're zoning Gen.G away from the mid lane wave so that Elk can try and get another tower, but a nice TP from the Hens should actually deny that. So overall, Gen.G secured the Dragon, protect their plates, protect their towers, don't lose anyone.
Do see though, BLG, they keep looking for these plays. Again, that top side, Camille, Ari, and the Sejuani. So much threat here to set up dives, but no one on Gen.G walking in just yet. Still though, play's going to be going over to Bin, but just by the virtue of the early kills and the fact that Keen has the TF passive, is still sitting at a pretty decent gold lead here. FO is going to feel very unfair in that regard. Bin does have the experience lead for now though, and obviously Camille, once we hit 2 items, still going to be a really tough thing to deal with in the side lane.
I think a good call at that 2-item breakpoint, really important to track, as it feels like a lot of the tank killing duty rests on the shoulders of Bin's. Lahen's getting stronger and stronger. You saw when he TP'd into the mid lane, Elk autos him like 5 times. It does absolutely no damage.
I mean, BLG is always first at this topside objective, aren't they? Canyon gonna be spotted on the bot sides. They're gonna make the cross map happen. Oh, nice pressure from Gen.G in mid. Is there a collapse here from Bin?
Bin coming in from the side. Chovy potentially caught out here. Good initial lockup onto Bin. He's just going to hookshot wall dive out, and Gen.G calm, coordinated, disciplined around these fights. They trade tower for tower overall.
I mean, we're seeing some incredible macro from both teams, and Chronicler highlighted earlier, you can see how BLG is eager to try and skirmish. They're quite willing to look for these 2v2s, 3v3s. This arrow is another great example of just BLG fishing. They're really just kind of throwing multiple reels out, and they're seeing if Gen.G is biting onto any of them, but Gen.G isn't. They're not taking any of the bait, they're not overextending, they're putting pressure where they know they can, they're playing around the numbers well, they're cross-mapping effectively, and they're holding on to the gold to keep things even as they continue to scale up.
For Gen.G, they have been in this position so many times. Slow the game down. Don't allow your opponent to take over. In the LCK, no one has been able to match them when they get to play this slow and methodical game. Mid lane turret still standing very, very healthier, allowing Gen.G to play pretty aggressive. Canyon looking a little bit.
Good sidestep from Shun to dodge the initial Spectral Maw. Chovy, a big upfront damage right now. The Destiny coming in, Knight potentially caught out. Nice stun from Shun. The Veil Flash, though, that one's going to cost him in the midst of the entire team. Shockwave only connecting onto him, but Gen.G happy to have the pick. Canyon.
Gen.G will find a pick.
Good follow-up, resetting, now making out with the Spectral Maw. Keen, gold card ready, Charm, just to dissuade. Ball set up, meanwhile, Bin split pushing in the side lane, but Gen.G happy to have the mid lane tower. Excellent pick.
Gonna be a big win there for Gen.G, and it's again the
great fight for Gen.G once again.
Able to set up that play.
Canyon really showing up.
It doesn't get over the wall crucially, so Gen.G can invest a lot. Ensure that they also get the mid lane turret and a lot of extra lane control, particularly when you can collapse so easily with a TF. It's a big win for Gen.G.
And I think the value of Keen can't be overstated in this game. He's done a good job, right? He went bot lane. He gave up some of that individual lead that he had on the top side to support the bottom side of the map. Has been there where he needs to be with the gold cards, using that TF ult to maximum efficiency. And here you see, it just makes the pick setup so simple.
I mean, the execution is clean. Flash hook from Lahen's, failed flash comes out from Shun. He knows that he's in danger, and a good body block comes out from Lahen's as well. to deny Jun any ability.
That was beautiful. Great ult from Jun, but
no objectives on the map outside of those towers, which means that Genji can't really balloon this into anything significant. They do find
they've caught with their pants down, you know.
For now. But this is, I think, what people wanted, right? I know it's not been a bloodthirsty game, but in terms of high-level play, this is a great demonstration of how effectively the cross-map, Bin being able to put so much pressure on a side lane is only going to continue to get stronger. It's crazy the fact that TF still has a gold lead, even though he's 30 CS, or 20 CS down, my apologies. But because of those 2 kills, because of the passive, because of the assists as well, even though Bin is putting all this pressure on a side lane, he's a full level up over Keen. Keen's leveraging his time spent over stacking by working with Genji to secure objectives and look for picks.
For Genji, this is the type of pace that they love. They want to play it slow. They want to keep control of the game. We saw in this series against top esports in particular, the games that they lost was when there was over-aggression early that was punished very nicely, and it snowballed from there. Chaos is their enemy, even in the Fnatic.
Alright, Dragon's up, let's see.
Was like, yeah, we tried to lean into it. And
third Dragon in the game, no so point.
It wasn't the best look as this Dragon about to come up.
Genji ready to take the fight. BLG don't have to fish anymore. 5 members stacked up. Genji looking to focus on the objective. Are they willing to risk the 50-50? Arrow into the Sejuani ultimate, locking up Chovy. Clutch pick, Knight ready to go over the wall. 2 stacks left.
Okay, wow.
Zoning away the rest of the team. But
Chovy didn't flash that. That kind of sucks.
Walk away. They want nothing to do with it. Charm connects on the Enzo, and that's a damn good start. In goes Bin. Hextech on the maiden. Keith got nowhere left to go. BLG.
Okay, Genji played that one really badly.
BLG finally take the control away from Genji and win a massive fight. They take the Dragon back, they drop the Rift Herald's bot, and BLG take a firm grasp over game 1.
Chovy getting hit by the arrow there, immediately followed up on by the rest of the team. A lot of resources have to be invested just to keep Bin away, but the extended chase of Ashe, of this Camille, of this Ahri, you're never going to be able to play around, and because of the earlier Herald, BLG grabbing in her as well and start accelerating the gold lead.
We'll need to watch back the play. How does Chovy get caught? Because he still has his flash up. Look at his positioning. He steps far too forward. There's no one in front of him to block. The follow-up knock-up, the charm, the chain CC was flawless from BLG. The single target worked.
The line should have been a melee range of the Dragon.
Into the wall there, but he ends up making it work out regardless.
Main thing is, as long as you can keep finding these kills, the range extension on this Camille makes it so hard to reliably get away. Every single target getting singled out one by one, and Genji pay a heavy price.
You have the Ashe as well. Once BLG start winning the fight, it's so hard to bring it back in your favor without a tool like the Shockwave. 0 and 0 damage output from Canyon and Chovy, the clear story of that fight. Remember, Chovy doesn't get the luxury of packing Cleanse against so much upfront CC. Opted for the TP, and now it's Keen who might just be in trouble. Knight taking his time. Shockwave going in, but it's not immediately going to connect. Knight just styling on him, and here comes Bin for the backup. 1-for-1 on the top side.
Keen actually finds a kill and exchange after that collapse from BLG.
Okay.
But again, you can see BLG constantly looking for these picks, these skirmishes. The Baron is alive, and now Canyon's looking for something himself.
On Spectral Magic, barely does a connection, looking for the ball. 3, not quite going to get 4 stacks on the permafrost. Bin backing away. Tactical sweep, not going to hit. Both sides fishing for a bit more again, but not able to quite find the angle to start a fight. Root from Pays won't connect. Bin gets the reset on the hookshot wall dive. Immediate combo now coming through, but it's Chovy going golden, caught out in the midst of the team, but he's got the front line now to protect him. Pays continuing to rain down autos. They're not effective, but they dissuade a bit. Lahen's picked off. Bin now running. Destiny on the way in. Keen looking to shut down BLG. Gold card is quick. Elk trying to save the day. Retreat now coming through from BLG, making their way back into the river. Canyon not going to push for anything else.
It's again the extended chase from BLG is so insanely strong. There's arrows, there's volleys, there's Camille jumping in. So Genji, if they get caught in a position where they don't want to fight, and we see there, they seem so apprehensive because one of their largest damage sources is gone in Keen. Chovy has to stopwatch immediately, has to flash as well, hasn't been able to really have an impact on this Orianna, and the team fighting from BLG has proven too much for Genji.
And the target on Chovy's head only gets more and more clear for the side of BLG. Doesn't have the arm guard, doesn't have the flash. Has to play flawlessly in the fights to come. All of BLG probably going to look to take that Orianna down, take Chovy out of the equation already. The trap set, and in goes Knight, looking for Keen, but the charm goes wide, as does the arrow. Keen casually walking that one off, but now the hook, the re-engage. Canyon on the way in, he's fishing for
okay.
He's already got one, but the
that was great.
He doesn't get the assist. Nice pick to kick things off for Gen G. Another gold card, gonna connect onto Knight. Meanwhile, Bin in the mid lane threatening the flank. Gen G just continue to find these angles.
I wonder if they use this as a Baron force. They have the shockwave available for Chovy. They have the numbers advantage. They'll just settle for control for now. Dragon in 1 minute and 10 seconds. BLG have the opportunity to put themselves on Dragon Soul point. But BLG overstepping their hand a little bit there. Knight missing his charm. Gave Gen G the opportunity to turn the fight around and actually find a pick themselves. The kill score is very close, the gold is very close. BLG have been taking more control over this game, but Gen G are showing that they're not just out just yet.
So try to take this turret, Gen G want to try and gain more map control, but you see again, so much of the damage still insanely big. This is a farming Nautilus, but doesn't feel as tanky as he did in the past. BLG won't be paying more than that. Gen G happy with the kill, but that'll be all they get.
Now we see Ben ticking over, crossing that threshold.
He only has 120 CS.
Really getting scary at this stage of the game. Armguard comes in for Keen. A defensive adaptation might lower his damage output, but I think he sees his role very clearly. Gold cards, looking for the picks, looking for the setup. It's not about the extended fight.
This fight might be the one that decides the game. If you take 2 battle of a loss here, that is going to be the Baron possibly falling as well. We'll see. Gen G, they're TPing in. Chovy just now finished his Zhonya's. A lot of defensive cooldowns available for Gen G, and they have first move in the river.
Gen G consistently get to the Dragon first in this game.
The ward.
They're looking for the pick.
Gold card, the point click onto On.
That's a big ulti.
Traded. Arrow connecting, but only onto Lehens. Knight immediately gonna fall. He knows he can burst through the Nautilus. Nautilus gets the ult up to try to engage, but there's Bin on the backside. Hextech ultimatum. Jungler deleted. BLG out for blood. Knight dashing in one more time. All of Gen G getting run down. Chovy goes golden, but he'll just watch his own.
Unfortunate. Very, 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 very unfortunate.
No one is left except for Pays as he's forced to retreat.
There's no tank on there too.
Five members strong will secure the Dragon. They're gonna get the
that's the problem when you play like Diego, is you need a tank.
Bin with an excellent flank to take out the jungler.
No tank, it makes it hard.
Dissipating.
Makes it like really hard.
The carries of BLG mean that it is a one-sided fight and a Baron for BLG.
The one front line that Gen G have evaporates in seconds. Knight locking him down, ensuring that Lehens doesn't make his way out. As the bounty pops up, Gen G watch the Baron get taken away, and BLG take a decisive lead.
Well, there's still like a miracle that could happen, but
Lehens has to walk up here because otherwise Keen is going to end up going down. But Shun has taken a lot of the damage. He doesn't care. And Canyon, he needs the resets, but he doesn't get the time. Bin takes him out immediately, and once the front line and the resets are gone, the rest of Gen G just helplessly watches as BLG take over the team fight.
Bin and Canyon met back in 2020, the World Finals, Suning versus Damwon. That one went the way of Canyon. Bin has been a bit of an international mainstay and is looking to get a bit of personal revenge. They're now sieging onto the mid tower with the Baron buff. Gen G forced to play on the defensive as we see the first significant gold advantage of this game.
And there's no more room for error on the side of Gen G. Across the board, flashes are still up for BLG, even after a team fight that one-sided. They used the stopwatch, they used the Seekers.
Yeah, Canyon really needs a second item.
But they need to play this flawlessly.
Gonna have to be looking for a multi-one shockwave. It's gonna be that combo of Lehens and Chovy starting it up. I don't think you're gonna catch anyone inside. The members on BLG are so slippery, and if you try to collapse on Bane, I'm pretty sure he's just going to murder whoever comes for him. So a multi-man shockwave, Elk and On in particular are still susceptible to that, but as you pointed out, Dracos, summoners are available.
Pace hit 80 stacks.
To force those, then they gotta actually get in a position where they can get onto this backline. I don't know if they're gonna be able to.
Chovy keeping the ball up, getting a little bit of vision, just trying to survive the siege for now. Not give anything away for free, but not overcommit and risk anything either. Gen G disciplined in the face of the push from BLG, but the arrow going in onto Chovy, kicking things off. Chovy has the cooldowns necessary to make it out. Goes golden to interrupt Hextech ultimatum. It's Knight waiting over the wall, instantly trying to fall for the charm, and it's flawless from Shun to lock down the mid laner, but they're fighting in the choke. The Senna just free firing. BLG slowly starting to turn the fight back in, and it's Knight again. The body block from Lehens is crucial.
Okay, so we gotta ban Knight, sorry, right?
Gen G Even though Chovy gets out, they get a decent shockwave.
So I really wonder what the ban strategy was, because like I feel like BLG got everything they wanted.
BLG will take the turret nonetheless.
I'm impressed that Gen G's able to keep everyone alive after that little skirmish, but BLG still walk away with the tower. Crypt Bloom now finished for Knight as he continues to get stronger, and this is looking to be BLG's game 1.
And ultimately, again, we're in a situation where it just gets harder for Gen G. BLG only getting further ahead. Chovy, again, in the context of that play, using the hourglass, using his flash. Another 5 minutes he has to wait before he can get out to safety. Luckily for him, not quite connecting onto him. Will hit Canyon in the meantime, but has to, again, play perfectly, dodge everything, and find the shockwave for Gen G to come back in this one.
Look at how BLG control the vision. They just suffocate you out. Look for picks.
Fishing for the angle. Pays. He doesn't even need to hit the charm. Pays out of the fight.
The damage is done. They now, again, have the numbers advantage. TP being forced to commit here from the end to try and keep this tower alive, but Knight holds the flank, zones Gen G away, and that's another tower secured.
All that Gen G have left are their inhibitors. Gold lead now up to 7k. Chemtech Soul about to come through here for BLG with that Baron. Feels like Gen G, they're gonna have to hope for a miracle, someone overextend. But you see as well, Bin never walks up in a silent unless he has assistance, unless there are people shadowing him, which makes it so hard.
I mean, I think at this point that I don't think Bin dies one-on-one anyways.
Just trying to keep Gen G in their base, knowing that Chemtech Soul is right around the corner. 45 seconds counting down as Gen G fight to just regain control of their own jungle. BLG ready for that fight, but Gen G grouping, trying to force man advantage to Min, get a bit of pressure back.
I mean, my concern for Gen G is whether or not they actually have enough damage. This Orianna isn't it right now, and BLG's front line, as I guess minimal as it is in the form of Jun, is very tanky. You think about all the mobility on the side of BLG as well.
I mean, Orianna gets shit on by Ari. It's a classic counter matchup.
Zoning them away himself. You could just have Shun and Bin take the dragon as a duo, get themselves the soul, and then move over towards the Baron. Gen G doing the smart thing, trying to get what vision they can around the objective that might bring them back into the game.
Additionally, Lehens, who is supposed to be the front line, as they are going to give up this objective.
Yes.
Lehens doesn't have more gold than On. One of these two players is farming, and the other is not. It's the global gold, it's the amount of objectives that BLG were able to get, but it means that Lehens, realistically, you want to be at least sitting on another item, and yes, you're still playing into a Camille, you're still going to fall in the longer fight, but because of this, even if you are able to get a hook from Lehens, he's gonna be shredded like paper. He's level 12. He's barely above pace.
And look, of all the champions I wouldn't want to be against as a tank, it's probably level 16 Camille piloted by Bin. I don't Triforce tanks. If it was Vayne top, it'd be even scarier. This is probably second place in my eyes for most scary possible opposition. So it's a tough road. Again, Gen G, I think they did so much well in the early game.
155 vision score. What in the goddamn Sam heck is that, bro?
Now going to connect on a Canyon. Still has the ult. He can try to use it to get out. Keen has used the Decency. Shockwave only going to hit one. Nice use of the Fate's Call coming from Elk. Bin on the flank is going to get spotted out. Gold card goes in. Follow-up not going to come through from Bin. In the meantime, Lehens trying to make the difference. Dash in. Knight ready to go. Ulti already used. Lehens just getting cut through. The damage not there from Gen G. And now Bin's in the fight. Pays instantly deleted.
Alright, well, I mean, that was horrible from Gen G. They tried, but like, they have 0 damage. Like, absolutely 0 damage. Crazy. But
there's no follow-up, there's no
no damage.
Unable to take anyone down.
The white
Alright, tips of the trade. Ban Ari, because don't pick Senna. Because you know On wants to play a real support. He doesn't want to play like Nautilus or you know, that's the carrier playstyle of playing the do nothing champion.
Wanted the fire. They wanted to face BLG at full strength. So many of their best champions given over, and they're experiencing the might of the LPL first seed firsthand.
And it's Canyon that gets initiated on to start with. Knight trying to get that level 16 before committing to the pick. Still doesn't quite get it after all the skirmishing. I like the engage from Lehens here. A nice knock-up sets up for Gen G, but where's the follow-up? It's not really there. The shockwave is already used in the earlier exchange. Bin finds his way onto Pays, and at this point, there's nothing that Gen.G can do but run for their lives.
Problem there is the Fate Skull was forced by Chovy's ultimate, which in of itself, if you kill on, you might have an angle, but because of Keen's stopwatch, Lance has no choice but to try and force that engage. But because there is no ultimate, just nothing that follows up, no damage really there for Gen.G. Inhibitors are still standing. That's something that they're going to try to hold on to.
Keen does a lot of damage, but he's got no front line.
Baron now in play.
And there's no good fight left for Gen.G, just agrees of bad. They have to prey on their own individual skill, on flawless use of cooldowns if they want to find a way back. AK deficit, BLG should just have this game one in the bag. Disciplined push, split across 2 lanes, mid lane inhibitor falling. All of Gen.G grouping on the bottom side. Ready to force a fight. It might be their only angle back. Chovy trying to zone away, but this assault is relentless. BLG just keeping the pressure up, keeping that Baron buff in mid, empowering that cannon minion, threatening the base. It is cold, it is controlled from the side of BLG on what could be a push to end the game.
Relentless pressure from multiple.
Really good first game showing from BLG. But then again, also, like, they're all their name-defining champions, you know? Elks, Kalista. Well, Elk's defining champion is like Lucian, but Elk is a much better AD carry than Pays right now. I'm not gonna say that On is better than Lance, because in my mind it's not true.
Then you have to get for the cleanse, and then you still have the flash if you somehow find a way on top of Elk. Slow but surely the base of Gen.G getting better down. 35 seconds left on the Red Bull Baron power play.
This is how you apply pressure on Baron, man. Like, their base is being destroyed at the same time.
Tower deleted, of course. Trinity Force Camille shredding through. Not going to connect from Lehens. BLG again across multiple lanes, putting the pressure onto Gen.G. Red Bull Baron power play, 17 seconds and counting, wanting to make the best of these empowered waves. A minute 30 till Elder. Perhaps the final nail in the coffin for Gen.G here in game one.
I mean, incredible stuff from BLG. When we looked at this draft, we expected a lot of early aggression from this team, and they did find a lot of good early dives, but it didn't really result in a massive snowball effect. Gen.G were good at being proactive around their neutrals. They had good grub control in terms of a response to the dive. They were able to contest that Cloud Dragon, and it looked like they were in a good position heading into the mid game, but when it came down to the team fights, this is something that many forget. BLG is still one of the best team fighting teams in the world. You don't just get to win the LPL by not being good at team fights, and with great target selection and patient play, they have just outperformed Gen.G in the fight.
They also just have better target selection. Like,
something that we saw in the T1 series as well, that BLG, even though they love to play...
If Lehens was like fed and not super far behind, they'd have a really nice front line, but he's not farming.
Underestimating, as you were saying, Vedi, is the team fighting prowess of this team.
Okay, we're almost hitting 120 stacks.
Highway to the Nexus is going to be open. It's again going to have to be
the entire base is open though. So.
I mean, BLG are showing nothing but respect to Gen.G still. BLG with the Elder spawning in 10 seconds. Going to use this to round out the game. And again, they continue to deny access into the jungle, limiting Gen.G's ability to even contest the objective. Gen.G, they're looking.
Bit of harassment on to On. Arrow going in, perfectly timed from On. Fate's call out coming out as well. And the instant turn back charm. Gonna be somewhat mitigated. Excellent shockwave. The turn, but do they have the follow-up? BLG, can they still win the fight? The shockwave hits 3, but it's been on the backside. And the Nick
there's just no damage.
Great
engage.
Delivering in the final moments of the fight.
But there's just no damage.
Yeah. But it just wasn't enough. The wallet was too big, and BLG will cement themselves as victors in game one.
And you know it's bad when Sejuani almost has 3 support items, you know? Wait, like...
Gen.G says Knight will give you your
Alright. Gen.G had a horrible draft. Hopefully they adapt better and they don't give Knight's Ari, who's like what, like...
Early aggression had been mitigated. But the mid-game fight so heavily favoring them. Gen.G
50-2 or something?
Need to show us more in game 2. A different
champion is like 99% win rate on the champion. Like, come on, play better, Gen.G. You got this. All right, game 2 draft. Can we get some respect? Fortnite's Ari!
In game
Please!
one, Genji said, what if we
Goddamn!
their
Please!
champions? And it
Please!
didn't work. I
This
think
man, time and time again! Hasho! You disrespect the Ari, you lose the game! He wasn't 50-0, but bro, he landed 100 million charms. He forced 50 million flashes, activated 50 million Zonias. Oh my god, what the fuck is this garbage? Ban the Ari! What are these bans?
Strategy. BLG back
When
on the
you
red
say
side.
similar, do you
Ban
mean
Ari.
identical?
Thank God! Jesus Christ.
It's one of
Woo!
those things where just like, how good is he really?
What is it? What I mean, what does it really mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it really means you got to ban it. All right, fair enough. Genji will pay the Ari tax as the Senate is locked in once again for Genji.
I am more okay with it than it was in game number one because the Ari is gone. I think in
That's
particular the Senna.
The Senna wasn't the problem, but Lahens has the farm.
I feel like that combo wasn't the problem, and it's important to note that come mid-game, Genji was in a fine position. It was the execution on the team fights that didn't really deliver, and I'm hoping that Chovy in particular gets something that he looks more comfortable on, as we do again get this Ashe-Kalista combo, which was instrumental in getting BLG that
I mean, they're going to go for Cassante or Twisted Fate, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're scared to go for the TF this time around because the Jax is still available. So instead, they're going to go for more frontline with the Cassante. I think Cassante is great into champions like Kalista, just because I think that, especially with Lethali Kalista, you really do struggle if the Cassante gets ahead to break down that wall. But I'm curious as to what direction Knight now goes with his pool. Do they even want to prioritize that? Do they want to actually get something for Bin in the top side of the map, or do they just want to lock in? I was going to say something safe like the Sejuani again, and they're going to do that. We already saw how effective Ashe Sejuani as a duo is so good at chasing you down in the extended fight.
Still a really strong combo. The one big difference is that this time, if Genji is in a 5v5 situation, they have someone who can tank. We saw in the last game, Lahens, I don't think having the best performance on the Nautilus. One of the big advantages of farming Nautilus is that he's an actual tank, actual frontline that can take a big beating. That wasn't really the case, but with Cassandra,
I think here you ban Jax Camille.
an easier way than just dodging.
Get Bin off of comfort, like force him to play.
This time around should be a little bit easier. As again,
I don't think Bin's gonna play TF.
Lane bans.
Yeah, I was about to say, there are 6 mid lane bans this game, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Of course, Knight versus Chovy, their pools will be tested, naturally. While Knight did get the advantage, as more bans come through, I'm going to remind you back to the stat that Dracos gave us earlier. When we look at the control mages that Knight has played in this tournament, Azir, Orianna, Corki, all losses for him. So, which direction will he go as the pool continues to get narrower?
I think you ban Jax.
What will the priority be for both mid laners here?
I imagine that means that BLG might want to pick up the Orianna on 4 here, deny it to Chovy, even though he didn't have the best of games. Still a lot of team fighting
I
power.
don't think I've ever seen Chovy play away.
Is Genji going to ban it away or not?
It's a very good question. Or do they want to leverage another topside ban? Is that Keen more up for success? Renekton going to be the takeaway here. Bin, I think, one of the only players in the tournament to opt for that particular matchup over something like a Vayne. Obviously, Vayne taken away in this game.
Could it be a Nico, maybe? Or maybe just, okay, he's going to go for the Orianna.
And this is really a full court press in draft to try to limit Chovy's impact on
Yo?
a lot of Chovy bans in the previous one, most certainly, but now taking away the pick that he used in game 1, and already a decent delivery system on the side of BLG in the form of Sejuani for that Orianna ultimate.
It's also, again, a lot of team fighting power for BLG. In the last game, it wasn't about the early aggression, even though we did see the trademark, as we all know, Chovy loves his Yone!
Oh, yes.
Game 1!
Let's go!
Game 2, he says, guys, it's okay. I got this. As, oh my God! Okay, game 1.
Alright.
Throwing down.
I've watched enough Dragon Ball Z to know when a man is saying, this isn't my final form. And this is that moment for Chovy and Genji. This is a volatile draft, no doubt.
Oh my
but a
God.
powerful one. A lot of
Alright.
hope coming in from Canyon.
Alright, Canyon has to play well early, but if he does,
this one might be a bit bloodier, gentlemen.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I get excited about Yone in Italy, but I have to ask, like, does it make sense?
Is it good?
Is it good?
Or you could forget your job as a color caster, as an analyst, and you could live in the moment of joy we've been presented.
The advantage we have is that we've seen Canyon at this tournament with the Nidalee. And he started that game off with a not great performance, and then he bounced back to perfection. It's particularly against Sejuani, you have, in that composition, they had a lot of poke, like a lot of poke, right? They had, I believe it was Lethali Callista, they had Corki, they had Nidalee, so they drafted like
back with the means. But this is going to be a good game. Holy shit.
You've got a bit more dive with Yone and Cassante looking to try and get in. You've got the front line of a Nautilus, and I think that in an extended fight, the advantage of Nidalee is the fact that you have that consistent poke at your disposal, but I will say the setup is quite different to when we saw the last time Canyon brought it out.
For Chovy, some of the greatest games of League of Legends I have ever seen. The Chovy meme came from him.
I got the meats, guys. I got the meats.
Wasn't able to actually execute.
La 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 la.
You really, no. You committed.
I tried to commit.
No, I respect the commitment. I don't think people would have understand, otherwise you're just saying his name. But we'll see if Chovy can carry this one.
You know what's going to happen now, just so that we're clear.
Every time that
if he makes a play, like,
all right, I'll commit.
We're all committed. We're not Korean, but we can try, gentlemen.
We're going to do 1, 2, 3 and then yell his name very loud.
If you're at home, please participate.
It's also with a B. It's not a V. Very important.
Okay, got it.
For authenticity. Also, Venny and I, we were racking our brains in the last game. Was Lahens going for a specific strategy? We now have confirmation. No, it just made a big mistake.
Alrighty, we're back.
But you're like, am I the wrong? Or like, what is going on here? And so, thanks for a bit of validation, Lance. We were not in the wrong. You just made a mistake in the previous game, and that's fine. We move on. Here in game 2, we restart, and we have the joy of getting to see Bin on his Jax, Chovy on his Yone, Canyon on the Nidalee. A lot of exciting times ahead.
So talk about this Yone. In the 1v1, obviously into the Taliyah going to be insanely tough to reliably deal with.
Into the Taliyah?
Once she gets to the mid to late stage of the game. The Jax though, I really like it because it's both decent into Cassante, can actually pressure him and obviously has a lot of pressure when we get later in the game. Is Chovy using his fleet on the Raptors.
That's super cool. Sorry, you're making a great point, Carl, guys.
I get it.
It's super cool to, he knows that he's getting bullied in the early laning phase, and so he's just leveraging the Q3 to be able to hit onto the Raptors to be able to get some of that HP back.
And I love the split lane camera, but you can see that particular perspective on your right at the moment seems to be favoring BLG as they fight for push here on the bottom side. We didn't get the first few levels of lane in game 1. There was a swap, so this time around we get to see the full power of both these 2v2s going toe-to-toe. Although not a Hail of Blades angle from Elk this time around. Is going attack speed, is going on hit for the Callista instead.
I mean, I like this much more when playing into a Cassante. We already talked about how the front line is that much different for Genji this time around. Canyon going to be spotted out. One of the big strengths of Nidalee is, of course, her clear speed. You can see she has a bit of an advantage over Jun for the time being. But not much pressure to play around. So we look at the minimap. We saw the split cam earlier. Push across the board for Jun. And he's going to try and leverage that. He's making his way into the jungle. Let's see if he can do something cheeky here with Canyon's red.
Oh, the ward.
Nice ward to spot. Spear for a bit of poke, passive from Jun there.
Here.
Wants to steal this one away. Q forward, Arctic Assault, marking up Canyon. And he's on away. That is going to be red buff taken by Jun, slowing down the Nidalee, crucially.
Just really well played. Chovy getting very low. Another nice trade from Knight, leveraging the strength of Orianna in the early laning phase. Going to be forced to use that pot at last.
First couple of levels, the big thing. Because post 6, all of a sudden stepping up becomes much more dangerous. So Knight trying to put as much damage on Chovy, trying to make sure he gets low as on.
Mana on, caught out now. Canyon immediately ready.
Let's go!
Nice pick.
That's my hands, baby! That's my baby girl!
To the enemy jungle and steal some of those camps away. Canyon going to be able to secure the Scuttle Crab in exchange. Maybe he can actually make his way towards the top river. Yeah, be able to secure both of them. Knight with a nice sidestep there is Canyon. He's not done with his aggression. Pushes Knight back.
Push back from Keen, good. Counter-strike not quite going to hit. nor is the Q3 from the Cassante. And important to note, AP junglers, that first recall, if they have a gold influx at all, any additional gold, they get a good first buy. That spear clear speed increases exponentially.
Another big thing with Nidalee specifically, and this was a big issue in the last game when we saw it from Canyon, was that you need setups. Chovy!
Q healing doesn't look like it connects.
That heal, I'm pretty sure, missed. But hey, Chovy, understanding his limits, Lehens, I think you've overstepped here.
Shun now walking up, hitting him with the Blitzcrank, question mark. Lehens, this is not your bot lane, but that sure as hell is the enemy jungler. Lehens getting knocked down.
Well, Lehens, especially with pace showing in mid, you can't afford to just be up that far. Canyon, seeing Shun, is going to try and take as many camps as he can, but BLG strike back.
I mean, I think that just came from a poor wave state in bot. He was trying to get the push in, trying to fix it for his team. So if we could have seen how the early waves did, like, I question if that was even his fault, because if they'd abandoned it, it could have been even worse in the later stages. But the consequences for BLG of that play is, look at Canyon. He is just tearing apart that topside jungle. He has stolen away all those camps. You can see the advantage he's starting to gain. It's good that Shun gets a kill to keep the gold relatively even, but we know what Canyon can do when he's on a farming jungler.
Chovy now level 6. One of the big things, as we were interrupted by Lehens getting taken down there, is the fact that you have set up in every single lane for this Nidalee. There is CC everywhere, obviously. The top lane can be a little bit hard to reliably land it, but there's the knockups from both the Cassante and the Yone, and then the CC from Lehens as well. Chovy stepping far forward. Shun has been an early game menace, looking for maybe a play here towards the mid lane as well.
Good movement from Chovy, wandering up towards the top side of the lane, had Q3 available to escape as well as the ulti and flash. Now that he's survived and gotten that first back, obviously much more comfortable in the lane with the refillable, with the additional levels.
BLG.
Yeah. Oh.
Gen G find
Holy
themselves pretty even in terms of gold. Drag going to be started off by BLG. As information is garnered, thanks to the little look backed, I would say, from on that skin.
Little dragon?
Could be a dragon?
Yeah, it could be a dragon too. Canyon, I think it's going to know and immediately heads towards the grubs. I like this adaptation from Canyon, knowing that this is the best window for him to take advantage of this. Keen also feeling very safe to proxy with the information garnered.
As long as Keen is aware of where Shun is, he can move forward on the Cassante. Possible dive angle though, because they surely also must know. We saw this work out in the last game. Gonna try it here again.
Hey, stepping very far back. Shun, do they really want to try this dive onto the Nautilus? Good heads-up movement from Paige to just back away. If you want to dive Lehens, he will be there to cover. He has the cleanse for himself, and much more discipline, adaptation from the Game 1 dive.
Nicely done, because Lehens can proc his Aftershock and then becomes a much harder dive target compared to Paige in the previous game, especially without the flash. Not going to be the case. If you take a look at the play that happened earlier, flashes were being traded. Does mean that Knight in particular, ults being traded. Thank you very much, Betty. As a result, particularly Knight can step up a little bit safer, knowing that Chovy can only CC him with the Q3.
Level 6 for Canyon. That top side of the jungle really has belonged to him. His smite on cooldown should.
Walking up, level 6. There for Canyon, not there for Shun, so won't really have the tools to follow up, and you can see this Nidalee is just such a nightmare for Shun, taking away those topside camps on cooldown. BLG, though, still with advantage on the bottom side of the map, unsurprisingly, with Hen's hook gonna go straight into the minion. Gen G just doing the best that they can to clear the wave to stop any additional plates from going over to the BLG bottom lane.
Level 6 for Elk means that trading back is only going to be harder right now for Paze and Lehens. They're forced to play defensively. Some really nice trading is coming out from Keen. I would say the early laning phase is going in favor of Bin, but that's slowly starting to swing in the favor of Keen. Shun now, level 6, sets his sights on the top lane.
Keen gets the wave in, knows this is happening as well. He might be posturing a little bit, pretending that Canyon is in the area, but also Cassante, so much innate safety.
On 2v2. Up. Hook out from Lehens, the slow from Ash, so frustrating to play against as Paze tries to fire back. Again, damage is going to stick at this point. There's no pots available for Lehens, so can't afford to lose too many more trades.
Does have his teleport available. Big thing there is that engaging on Anu was pushing forward is really hard because of the Fate Skull, so if you throw too much into that Ash, he gets pulled back, and Elk gets to stack his spears. He's sitting on a decent amount of gold, I'm pretty sure, because does have a nice amount of CS here, only sitting on pot boots and a long sword. Maybe they don't want to go in too ham as Lahan's on the ward here.
Of course, the poke going to be less effective as it's likely not the lethality Callista, instead the on hit, but the sustain, the extended lane is going to be very tricky for the side of Genji and Nagate, especially as Pays does have some cookies to fill up that mana bar, but the relative sustain not super
they see the
powerful
dive
yet.
coming. Knight's on his way.
Oh, recall. Instant TP though. They want to protect this one, but Pays again caught out here. The follow-up. Canyon on the way forward. They're looking for the spears, looking for the angle. On retreating now, but it's the 80 carry caught. Shun is.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Beautiful punish from
Do not list! Do not to see! Do not to see! Woo! Genji!
Such a heavy commitment.
Genji!
Flashed with on in the ultimates to make sure that engagement happens.
Holy fuck, that was beautiful. I am critical. Canyon with his own skin. They'd be like, fuck you.
Draw your attention to the minimap. Look at Canyon making his way as quickly as he can. A great
beautiful.
And then this flash from Elk is such a heavy commitment. A nice ultimate from the Hens connects onto Elk. They take him out first. And it's 3 kills.
Yeah, when Sejuani's not the one taking Teradago.
There yet a little bit of extra CC. Maybe they could have at least gotten the kill onto Pace, take away some of the sustain, but instead, only big win there for Genji. Kills going over to the Lahans this time around might be a lot tankier than he was in the last game. And Canyon on this Nidalee, building his lead even further.
It's only going to get more difficult for BLG to play out the earlier stages of this game. Canyon getting further and further ahead. Chovy's made it through some of the hardest parts of the lane already. In your bot lane, where you're supposed to have this massive advantage, the play completely whiffs. And now it might be Ben who's going to suffer on the top side of the map. Diving at Jax, I can't amend TP. But here comes Elk. No Fate's call. It's just going to try to turn onto Pays in the meantime. Chovy on the way in. Misses the initial Q. Elk just trying to dance around it, but the damage is simply too much. Fate going to be sealed here. Soul unbound back to finish the job.
And Chovy gets his first kill of the game as Genji's also trying to dive top lane. Knight's forced to TP defend. The mid lane has been completely abandoned as Jun is stealing away the Raptors to get something back for BLG.
That should be the grubs though, because Knight TP's in, doesn't actually get anything out of it and gets hit by an immediate spear. Bin also forced to flash. Might be a lot more grubs coming through. We do see Shun making his way over, but so is Lahans as Keen might be walking to a trap here.
Walking forward, going unstoppable, gets the initial dash out, has the Q3. Knight committing, shockwave back, Bin instantly gonna fall up with the ulti, and down goes Keen.
Knight making sure that his presence is being felt in this game. Assists his top laner in securing that kill. Grub has been stolen by BLG. Canyon doesn't want to give this last one up.
He absolutely doesn't, but it might cost him his life. Good knockup coming in from Lahens. In the meantime, Pays stepping up, the heal there. Knight gonna get rooted briefly. Not really much of a threat, but Jun's gonna Q out over the wall. Genji establishing control again around the mid lane.
Genji will get the grubs, but that kill still going to be big on Bin, one of your bigger side lane threats. Maybe a possible answer as we get later into the game, into this Yone as well. Obviously does do a whole lot of autoing, and it's Knight turning a rough situation there around by him and Bin setting up a trap for Keen.
I mean, he had to commit his flash to make the play happen, but at the end of the day, he gets Bin a kill. Trinity Force completed. Dragon now being started off by Canyon, but Shun doesn't want to give this one up for free. He's making his way back out, but Knight's going to be forced to catch that mid wave. And again, like we've seen many times in this series, it's Genji first to the objective.
Genji a step ahead, but BLG ready to try and bully their way in.
Chovy has ult though!
4 members of the team standing strong. And it's 5 grubs, it's a Drake. The stacking angle now gone for BLG if they want to try to rapidly do it. And Genji with almost a 3,000 gold lead.
It's really important to appreciate how difficult it is to face check a Nidalee and a Senna, right? Like, Genji are very good at being first on the objective, and while you do have a Sejuani that can act as a front line, it's so dangerous to face check this composition because of how quickly they can just execute a person.
Sven once famously said, if you have a mouse, you can dodge Nidalee Sphere. The second part of that quote people don't appreciate is you have to be able to see it. If she's in the bush, if you don't see it coming, it's just instant 100 to 0. And look, for now, it's a Hextech alternator, but Canyon has so much money. He is dangerously close to that first big item spike.
We also all know, walking in general, really the most OP skill in League of Legends. Chovy, though, that was a little bit of a dicey situation if they somehow did find a good angle for the fight. Genji did deny it, because Chovy was sitting on like 1,600 gold there. now does have his Blade of the Rune King finish. From this point on, the Yone is only going to become a bigger and bigger threat. And because of Knight's Blade towards the top side of the map, his forced TP hasn't been able to catch as many waves, leading to Chovy getting a pretty sizable lead in the 1v1.
I mean, look at how scared Knight has to play right now. He is hovering underneath this tower. He knows how easy it is for Chovy to just 100% commit. You know, you can just throw the ultimate out, the Q3, and with no flash or Ayana, you're just going to die. So he's forced to play on the defensive. He's going to go back to base, pick up his items.
Yeah, because like you can press E.
Along with a control ward. So items coming through across the board now. Dragon still a ways off, but the Herald immediately being started off by Gen G.
You can press E.
Overall, Gen G.
Ult. Chunk.
Like it was all about mitigating.
And I mean, it's back up in a minute, anyways.
Upping the pace themselves, really taking over. Again, 5 kills to 2. Now the Herald's going to drop as well, on top of the fact that they have 5 grubs. Easy push to break whatever tower they would like. Now a TP down to the bottom lane to cover here as Bin pushes in. Then the one factor that they may struggle with as we get later into the game, but for now, he's just focused on trying to take down the side lane objective, but Shun on the way down too. They might just want to go for the all-in. Immediate ulti coming up for Bin. He doesn't have the wave, but he might not need it. Good stun. Cassante going unstoppable though, and now the TP to follow. Bin trying to run. Good ulti to disengage away from Keen, but the rest of Gen G on the hut. Shun ready to offer that exit to his top laner. Now wants to turn the fight back with a stun. Not going to get that good dash back coming in from Canyon. Chovy now out of the pit in the meantime. Blade of the Rune King keeping him nice and healthy. Q3 out. BLG, bit of a messy extended fight, and it's a double for Canyon.
In the last game, BLG was able to find these angles in the fight, single out targets one by one. This time, Gen G not going to let them. Very ready. Triple teleport, or double teleport rather, coming through from both Chovy and Lance to ensure that Keen doesn't get taken out. And Cassante, if you're only there with a Jax and a Sejuani, it's going to take such a long time to go down this canyon.
Nice. Clutch sidestep from On. If that spear hits, he dies. Just continuing to run down.
Really nice footwork there from On. No chase down will come through though. As we take a look at the MasterCard lane economy snapshot,
That's the bravest ass I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, okay, bot lane's a bit fake news.
Don't believe the headlines, guys.
Don't believe the headlines. But you know, I remember watching the last Canyon game, and I tweeted, "Is this really a Nidalee angle?" And it was. And then in this game, I questioned, is it really a Nidalee angle? And the moral of the story is, I need to stop asking Canyon when is it a Nidalee angle.
Yeah, he tells us when it's a Nidalee angle.
He tells us when it's the Nidalee angle.
In your defense, the last game he fell behind and then got funneled 3 shutdowns. So this game, a very different pace of Canyon Nidalee.
I swear, if this series is going to devolve into Shun and Canyon's like, I'm getting Nidalee. No, I'm getting Nidalee.
It's going to be Nidalee versus Kindred. That's what
You have to understand that as much as we try to script, as much as we try to create narratives mid lane, Knight versus Chovy, if anyone's going to take it into their own hands, it's Shun and Canyon, right?
I mean, I think the beauty of this Nidalee pick is that it's
they're like
hard for the Sejuani to just keep up the pace.
7 mid lane bans, bro.
Every time Shun has to do something, Canyon has just answered on that.
So now we've devolved into playing Yon.
He's just been terrorizing BLG's jump
Oriana.
and his mobility and clear is crazy. So huge credit to Canyon. He's dominating in terms of the early game. He's been a huge part of transitioning Gen G from this early to mid game advantage. They have a very healthy gold lead right now, and they're going to set their sights on the Dragon. And look at that mini-map. Canyon already in the position. They get the mid push. They have control of the bot. Gen G with once again immaculate control around these neutrals.
And I think one of the big struggles for BLG is that Knight really cannot side lane. If he doesn't 100% know where Canyon is, he can never walk up to a wave. And frankly, even in the 1v1, Chovy heavily favored. The raw power of a pick like the Yone on a side lane is very menacing.
And we come back to that whole face-checking thing, right? Now you have to walk into this fog of war. Gen G are doing a good job of still controlling the mid-wave. But the neutral objective is theirs. BLG, the best they can do is cross-map as Knight gets a tower in the top lane.
No other recourse there. Can't walk into this Gen G comp. BLG, the best that they can get. But I do want to echo, and that's, I think, the biggest difference. Yes, FaZe and Lahens are in a much better spot than they were in last game, but Gen G in the last 2 years, ever since Chovy joined, has really risen and fallen depending on what this player does. Last year at MSI, he wasn't able whatsoever to uphold the level. In game number 1, imagine a lot of Chovy fans were worried, maybe some flashbacks to some of his past performances. This time around, him having that consistent pressure and prio actually is a really big part because it enables the rest of Gen G.
How did he know? The man just pressed E and like
caveat that
wow, Joey's so good at the game.
Like that for quite a while.
And then he won MSI. And now here we are in a best of 5 at MSI, where Gen G fans are scared of a repeat, and where BLG fans and Knight fans would be happy to see a run back.
They're looking for a pick. Chovy's been caught in side lanes before. There was a scary moment against Top Esports where he got caught. But that will not happen, at least in this game, for now. I'm adding a lot of caveats there. He's not caught.
I like it, Veddy. Give me those caveats.
Sow the seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
Guys, Canyon is not caught.
Well,
Still not caught.
Why would you do that? you want this to go the distance?
I'm just testing my caster curse, you know what I mean?
Caster curses are not real. We all know this. They're not.
How's KT doing?
Okay, that wasn't me. Why are KT?
Anyway, fade seal. Chovy now going to be in trouble. Now trying to punish with a clean follow-up here. But 4 members are on the top side for Gen G. BLG, though, looking for a bit of a tussle. The TP response. 1 member TPing in the midst of 3. Keen now going to be able to walk away. That's the Cassante. Gives him the luxury to just back up. Spear going to connect onto a minion. And now Gen G just fishing for these moments. Q3 from Chovy is good. Keen getting shredded, but is able to back away.
A very tense moment as all 5 members gather in the top lane. The tower still stands, as far as I can tell, for BLG.
Pace is very far up. Vin trying to look.
Pays in trouble. Chovy ready to respond with the Q3. Pays, though, taking a massive chunk. Good damage coming in from Chovy. Stolen bound. Bringing it back.
One of the things we haven't really talked about yet, but actually I think is a big factor in these elongated fights, is Gen G already have an Ocean Drake, and they have both Senna and Nidalee. In these longer trades where you're just kind of trading poke, you're trading some hits left and right, the extra sustain actually makes a really big difference. And I haven't finished towards sustain, or Chovy also picks up a shield bow.
I just noticed as you were saying that, I looked at the items and he just went back to base, instant shield bow completed.
2-item double lifesteal Yone is one of the most unfun champions to try to duel in the game. You cannot do any damage. He is essentially a drain tank in a 1v1. In a team fight, he still has Q3, he still has ult, and a get out of jail free card in the E.
He'll either do Infinity Edge next, or he might go a little defensive, depending on his preference. We know that Chovy's had a number of Yone builds throughout his career.
He's been a Blade of the Rune King into Sunfire guy
before. Jack Show as well.
Thank you, Riot Balance Team, for taking that out of the equation.
Was there a Knight's Vow period too?
I don't know. Chovy, really, he was also the guy that was the best Cassante mid for quite a while.
I remember.
He loves tanks.
Guys,
always has.
Unrelated, but it's popped into my head now and I have to say it. Are you, like, obligated from hold that thought, flash out from Knight?
I mean, he has to, right? Because the root came through from Pace, and now they start the Baron.
Baron, the commitment there. They're going to shred through this. Chovy does a lot of damage to the objective. Been sprinting up to the objective.
How do they keep
coming in for Keen. They can try to take the top laner down, but now Chovy looking for the pick. They know they have the angle. Chovy goes right back. Clean, calm, collected from the side of Gen G, but they want to collect a few more heads. Chovy sprinting forward. Q3 ready to go. Nice engage. They might lose one in the process, but the heads is still standing. Chovy taking down on, just continuing to rain down auto attacks. Ben has the ulti, but he's forced to back away. Sean gonna get sent back to base in a body bag, and Gen G dominates.
It's over!
Huge on the Yone. Immediately the flash from Knight is forced, and they're able to extend the fight from there. Bin not having TP means Gen G can play way more aggressive, and the Baron about to fall.
BLG look like a very different team from game 1 to game 2. Some slight draft adaptations from Gen G, and Knight, I don't think he's a bad Orianna, but I think Chovy's a very good Yone. No flash available on Knight means that he gets quickly collapsed, and with the numbers difference means that Gen G know that they can force a fight. And look at this combo between Keen and Chovy. Very nicely done. Tears the fight apart in favor of Gen G, and they convert it into a Baron.
Not enough damage available. And it's that earlier route from Pace that forced the flash from Knight, which means that Chovy can force a guaranteed connect with a stun with that flash right. And
Jack
shows. It's gonna come through. But especially, like, imagine he is about to say,
let's go
for Ocean Soul, Nidalee, and Senna as well. He is legitimately never gonna die. Like,
If he starts a fight by one-shotting Knight, he can build armor for the rest of the game, and no one is really going to be able to kill him for at least another couple items. Yes, Bin is supposed to be the scary threat. He finally has 2 items, but it might be too late. Gen G are so far ahead in such a commanding position, and Knight cannot side lane against this Yone.
I mean, I think this game was determined when the bot lane dive was thwarted by Gen G.
Yeah.
We saw something similar in game 1, but BLG were able to team fight their way back in. This time round though, Canyon with the lead that he had has just absolutely dominated in the jungle matchup. And Gen G have just snowballed through the objectives with their control, and BLG haven't found a fight. Could this be it?
DP, Chovy just fishing, trying to force down the objective. They've got Mites, they've got Baron buff, the empowered Canyon behind them. Canyon as well.
Landlady being annoying.
He is very empowered.
Saying I'm
4-0-3.
screaming. I'm not screaming.
I mean,
I'm tone deaf, so. Well, naturally I'm louder than other
Not
people,
yet.
but.
Well, not yet. No, it's a ring
this
now.
is me
I don't
not
know how to turn it
screaming.
into a book. Ultimately, Gen G in an excellent position. And again, we talk about how they needed to adapt. They've adapted wonderfully. The question is for BLG, they banned 5 champions from Chovy. They picked the 6th away in the Orianna, and still he found an angle. He found the Yone, and he's taken over this game. And in the meantime, Keen is also split pushing. It's a tough nut for BLG to crack if we come into game 3 tied up.
I also love that, you know, we talk about the narrative, Knight versus Chovy, and in the last game, was Chovy
All
goes
teammate
in.
Seal not going to connect at all. Immediately forced to back away, and Bin's already there. Chovy now in trouble. The follow-up CC is there. The Q3 takes him nowhere. Chovy getting knocked down. BLG found a pick. They want to keep this going. Keeps pushing to the top side, but it's a double stun from Bin. Bin now going to get locked up. Canyon taking down the Jax. Canyon clutch when Gen G need it most on. And Elf running for their lives. Canyon, though, getting lower and lower. The heal about to come through. The primal surge. Trap in the brush. Gen G on the hunt. BLG running.
Look at Keen! Keen is ending the game in bot lane, while BLG are scrapping to try and get away from the fight. On then loses his life. Keen is trying to end the game, but what an incredible fight. Secures the fight, and Keen is looking to just end the game.
Big thing there is Knight, obviously, is never going to cut through to Cassante. Sitting on only a Crypt Bloom. No way to win that 1v1 with the experience lead.
He just took a Nexus turn!
Even the champions are
26
going down,
minutes!
BLG have to invest so much, and it's a flip from the last game where BLG held off Gen G's last-ditch effort, and now on it going down.
They know they have to extend the fight. Bin stepping up, gets the flash out. They want to take Keen down. There's no big objective for them to transition this to, however, so it'll just be a kill. Bean needs to keep the play going. Bin, pays. Healed up by Canyon. Still standing for an extra moment. Bin just wants to finish the kill. Dashes forward. Lahen's here, Canyon here, and Chovy as well. BLG forced to back off. They get a couple consolation prizes, but they effectively spent thousands of gold just to get that pick on Chovy.
You'll still take that because 2 inhibitors are now down. Getting any map pressure is going to be so hard. Gen G might have to give up a bounty gold turret or 2, but that alone not going to be enough to release their grip on this game.
Then on the flank again, Lahen's clearing what he can before he backs away. Objective bounty for the side of BLG.
I mean, it's a small break, I guess, for BLG, as they're able to get some kills back, a bit of gold, but the deficit is still astronomical.
Nice.
Canyon is still deathless in this game, and look, he's stealing more camps. He's just taking everything away from
Canyon, like, these are my
He's
jungles.
sitting on 3,000 gold, by the way. 3,000 gold unspent. We're gonna.
That's crazy. 3,000
3,000
unspent gold?
Gen G ended up
That's
winning,
insane.
and it becomes this chase down from BLG to try and get something back. A nice arrow connects onto L.
Has King died here? Oh,
Allows
okay,
Bin to chase this down.
I mean, it's okay, look! Like, they don't have a base.
But really, it's just breadcrumbs.
Even if they were given a bit of
Gen G
money.
still find themselves securing
Did-
2 inhibitors, so much control over the game,
Okay, he's buying.
and a lot of money to spend.
For BLG, if there was a Baron up
Watch
there,
Canyon.
maybe that is enough.
That's a Zonya's, straight.
Yeah, he was sitting on
Where's
that
the mesh
orb.
eyes though, Canyon? Maybe he feels he can't get more stacks? I don't know.
My man is preserving the KDA and the game. They haven't won yet, guys. Sometimes he only had, you know.
Well, Canyon has been in a position where he has a very large gold lead on Nidalee before.
See, remember when we
That
talked
was
about
against
practicing our
Chovy.
caster curses?
Keen.
What did we say about practicing the caster curses, Chronicler? Here comes Keen. Elk now in trouble, cleanse out, but it does not matter. This Callista is a dead man walking. And in the meantime, Bin now on retreat. The rest of BLG getting cut down. Gen G just looking to close it out here. Dashboard from Keen, not quite able to find the ulti angle. Knight throwing the ball over the wall, but Gen G just gonna throw it right back. They are not scared. Canyon stepping up, making good use of the Zanyas. Good bit of poke back to him, but Chovy already pushing into the mid lane. BLG one last desperate hold from the solo laners, and Chovy not gonna give him an angle. Immediate flash forward on the Fate Seal. TP in, Gen G striking.
Beautiful display from Gen G. Hopefully this game goes the whole way, but I would love to just see a 3-1 Gen G.
Experiment in game number 1 didn't
Alright.
end up working out.
Game 3.
Gen G regroup.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for game 3.
Game 3.
Let's see the draft. We're going to see 19 Chovy
Two
bans.
bans already as BLG have swapped over to the blue side. A lot of their strategy, and a lot of Gen G's strategy in bans at least, remains the same.
Okay, well, we were literally just talking like, would Senna be banned? The answer is nope. So, what will BLG do? Will they take it away? Will they instead continue to prioritize the Callista?
Okay.
It looks like, there you go, there's the answer. Senna will be taken away. So how does Gen G now respond? Do they go for the Callista themselves? Is Varus instead a higher priority? They're going to take away the Nautilus to deny it from BLG. We know that things like Tahm Kench can also be fine along with the Senna. We've seen T1 come up with all sorts of things to pair it with the Senna. But there's the Callista. Alright, so Gen G going to go for Callista plus the Nautilus. Sorry, yeah, Gen G. Sorry, I looked at this bot lane and assumed it was Elkanon.
Yeah, I mean, pretty reasonable.
But Pays has been a bit of a Callista merchant this tournament. His
100%.
highest played champion so far at this tournament, and this is going to be his 5th game on it.
He's been fine. You know, he's been serviceable.
And I think what we learned in game 1 was if you're forced to build on hit, the lane might not feel as dominant. But if you're going to play lethality Callista against a Senna, and she ever tanks a Q, well, lane might just be over. That said, a bit more protection for the Senna this time around in the form of the Tahm Kench. See what BLG want to do here for their 3rd pick. Canyon Italy was a big problem in the last game. The bot dive getting thrown and Canyon really taking over the game were the 2 big points that I think BLG really need to rectify.
Do we just lock Tristana here? Yeah, I was actually, that was what I was thinking towards. Because it doesn't feel like that Tristana has a reliable counter that has been found in this tournament yet. We saw many a series devolve into just slamming that as soon as possible. Chovy also a really, really big fan of the pick. Imagine that he's going to look towards picking up a mid lane here so that he doesn't get banned out in the arms race.
They might go for Sejuani themselves.
Ooh, and then trust Chovy to have an answer nonetheless. Could be the angle, but no, it's going to be the way to come out here from Chovy. Strong control mage, but the early game against Tristana can feel a little bit dicey at times.
Can definitely feel tricky. Need to see more CC tools paired with the Hui when this champion has looked at its best internationally. It's when it can play really.
So here we want to blind pick the Cassante again?
If that is the angle that Gen G want to take here as we enter the 2nd ban
I
phase.
think so.
Untouched for now. Both sides presumably would be happy with the blind pick Cassante.
I think here Cassante's left open. You have to just ban. You just force the Camille ban for spin on Jax
Magic
again?
damage needs to come from somewhere.
The Maokai is a natural pairing. We've seen some teams pair the Lilia up with it. I will say that the Lilia has not sold me. No. But you've got to remember, Shun is Nidalee playing himself, right? So always a possibility. I think that's why Sejuani's now become a scary pick.
Yeah.
Because after Canyon has said, hey, I really like playing this into that matchup, Shun can be like,
He did it twice!
So
Once
if you want
against
Sejuani, take it.
whatever they
We've
played
got our
against,
mid, we'd love a
and
bit of
then
AP.
here. Yeah.
I will say BLG lacking a little bit of an engage. They already have a solid front line with Tahm. I'm sure they'd love something to pair up alongside it. With the Vayne being manned away, heavily suggesting a Cassante pick here for Keen.
Will be a no-brainer, and already there is a lot of AD damage, making itemization really easily. A Xin Zhao ban, I think, would feel great here. Vi normally, I think, is quite strong, but into Kench and into Tristana, I do think the pick loses a lot of what makes it so lethal. The guaranteed lockdown, the guaranteed ways of taking down a target right from the get-go.
Okay,
Like BLG,
nice.
they do agree. Xin Zhao here, I think, feels relatively safe,
Cassante,
but
bro.
it's yeah.
No,
they just
no,
banned
yeah.
Why did BLG ban TF?
I guess they wanted to. I mean, you could
Camille
question:
again?
do they just want to bait the Cassante blind to set something up to punish?
Dunno. I don't have a good answer for you.
There's no way.
Double AP?
Oh my.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. This is much more of a poke comp, right? Lethality, Callista with Hui plus Nidalee. If you're first onto an objective, you have so much range. And the thing about double AD carries is that they're great at melting front lines if they can hit your front line. But when you're running full poke, often it can be much harder to do that.
This can't be right. There is no way that's the angle, right? That you're just going for these blind Nidalees.
Where is the engage on BLG's
Oh,
composition? It's Diana!
It's right there!
It's Diana!
Holy!
We talked about it before we came on. We said there's going to be an arms race in one of these lanes. We thought it might be bot lane. It is in the jungle.
Oh my goodness. Shun's Diana. I wasn't expecting that, gentlemen. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
I don't think that was on anyone's bingo card. Except for the Diana one. Like r/Diana mains has known.
We know that Jun does have a history of playing Diana. Not one of his most successful champions throughout his entire career, but definitely something that he has a lot of experience on. We talked about how they were lacking some engage. The Poppy round out from Gen.G, a really good answer.
That's such a nightmare pick. So now you have a winning top side and the one win condition, which is going in aggressively with this dive onto the enemy poke comp. There's a Poppy standing in your way.
Gentlemen, I'm going to be honest.
What is happening in the
BLG
series?
are going to be playing this game on hard mode.
I still think I prefer Gen.G's draft overall.
No, I agree.
They're full poke with 2 front line. They can engage if they want to. And I've just kind of trusted Gen.G's objective setup overall more than what we've seen from BLG this series. I will say that Diana is a great power farmer. She should be able to keep up more than comfortably with the Nidalee, and Nidalee shouldn't have the same luxury of stealing away those camps just because of how quickly Diana can move through the jungle. But yeah, these fights are going to be interesting. BLG have already showed us this series back in game 1 how great they are at team fighting.
All right.
With a composition like this,
all
there's all sorts of crazy
right.
team fighting that can happen. The question is, can they actually get in range to make the team fight happen? Poppy, Callista, Hui, Nidalee, so much range. I'm excited. Game 3, Gen.G versus BLG, 1-1. Who can bring us to match point?
I think
A damn good question.
if Gen.G gets behind,
Now on both sides,
I
new
think this is a
champions hitting
BLG
the
win.
rift.
But if
In the final days
BLG
of MSI
don't
2024,
have a big
Innovation has
lead,
won so many
I think they
tournaments
fall off so hard.
historically.
Because something's just going to be
And
unkillable.
Innovation will just be a
Sorry, Poppy's just going to be
Diana bringing out
unkillable.
something old, something that he was really successful
Poppy
on in
denies
his
the Diana
days.
engage,
Something we haven't seen in a
which
long
is
time.
insane.
Or his Candies in Italy, which did pretty good in the last game, gonna continue to be a problem.
Oh.
Main thing for me for BLG in this game is, can they still find the angles that they normally do when Shun isn't on the type of champion that can reliably get his lanes out early? Very different style.
I want to see the Yasuo Yone mid lane
with
matchup.
his Kindred as well, right? Very different play style. So it's not about him playing carries, but it is BLG, as we saw in game number 1. I'm going to have to take on a very different role here with how they play out. There isn't, or there shouldn't rather, we'll see if Elkanon can find it nonetheless, an opportunity for those early dives, which were so instrumental in game 1.
I will say, I wonder how much G2 and scrims have influenced people's priority on Poppy. Because the Poppy resurgence we've seen at this tournament, it's just such a good Poppy angle, right? Like the Diana, the Cassante. Night now, we'll get hooked.
There. Is he going to be forced to start W? No.
He's okay.
He's fine. He's underneath this tower.
Yes,
But
gentlemen.
that does-
50% of his HP.
He's fine.
Tis but a
Reset.
scratch. Yeah, so Genji gonna
Poppy
use
crying on the floor, bro. Odds like, yo, bro, what the fuck?
Actually not going to drop a forward, maybe before the hand spaces. No, he's starting with sweeper. I apologize.
All right, Shun. Of course, Diana, obviously the passive attack speed, much easier to sustain. Notoriously good at clearing clamps very quickly. It is kind of...
Early levels, it's a little slow.
Yeah.
Not slow by any means. Keen, going to be spotted on that ward that was dropped. He's seeing if any of the camps are being stolen. Shun, though, has been able to navigate his way towards the Raptors. And yeah, Diana's a great champion at taking away the Raptors just because of the AoE that she gets on her passive. Let's have a look at the pathing plan here from both these junglers. Xun going to have completely free reign over this top side. As far as we know, Canyon has no insight on this. So he's going to do a bot side clear, move into his top side and realize that's been stolen away. But perhaps he is aware and can move into the bot side to get some camps of his own.
Particularly in these AP versus AP matchups, if you get to an earlier spike, it can really accelerate from that point on, because it does actually allow you, particularly with both these champions, if you get an earlier first item spike to really go in aggressively.
Locked up, but Hens already has 3 stacks on him. They're trying to kill on before they get to level 2 for the thick skin. Good poke back. Gen G aggressive in this bottom lane matchup.
Flash already committed from Pays. Swap the nameplates. Hey,
oh yeah.
You know, like it just goes to show Pays definitely can be as aggressive as he needs to be. But yeah, Canyon will realize that. I mean, I do have to question. No early wards were dropped from Gen G. They moved into the enemy jungle and they didn't do anything. So Canyon's now gonna move over towards the bot side, expecting that Xun is doing a top side clear, and now he should have all the information that he needs to realize, okay, my whole top side should be gone. Xun has split the map, which may very well be better for Gen G, because now Canyon could even threaten a dive onto BLG's bottom lane.
There was also the fact that Xun not able to pick up the Krugs, so Canyon might actually end up a camp up. The big thing here is that the bot lane is already ahead, so even with the TP in from On, had to catch the wave first. We'll see if they're able to push it out from here on out as a possible roam come through. They do seem to know that Canyon is in the area, as should be expected. Xun now spotted on the ward.
Canyon, if he hits the spear, it's going to be big. Canyon just now full commit to the trade. Xun, but a good trading back with the shielding. Trying to keep this going, but he knows he loses out. Canyon, just in these extended fights, is so damn strong.
Canyon thought about it.
Oh, the puppy.
Well, he's trying to see if Xun is moving into his top side. He's going to spot him here.
Cancel with the passive. Oh, this is going to slow down the clear so much.
I mean, admittedly, though, Canyon's not really doing much himself. He does have the bot crab that he can go and take, but I think he's more interested in the Krugs. Just take that whole bot side, get the level 4, move over towards the Krugs. Again, though, Elk and On are now completely isolated from any jungle support. Diana, after taking the top side Raptors, I'm sure would love to try and get them again, but Canyon sees an angle.
A flash on.
Lehens does have flash.
Angle to set things up. On, now going to Abyssal dive out. They don't get the CC. Crucially, Hook, though, going to connect instantly on to the
We saw Xun, Elkin,
that was beautiful.
The vulnerability early on of this Senna. And now Gen G do the same to them.
They're not done, gentlemen. They're looking for another dive. On is next on the list.
Lehens walking up immediately, going to tank tower angle, start walking out. Hook back in, clean follow-up dive. Gen G dominating in the bot lane.
The consequences of just stealing some Raptors. Xun, he's going to be able to get the re-clear of the...
What is that white damage? That's just a door tree.
Appropriately leveraging the control they have
so
on the
dumb.
side of the map. And Chovy is winning out in this matchup.
Which is huge, because the Tristana, we saw this in the G2 series as well, became such a big power pick. Felt like there wasn't a lot of answers. Chovy on this way, obviously can skill insanely well. Tristana, so much of her power relies on getting those early leads, on continuously shoving in, farming plates, and playing from an advantage. Instead, Knight's going to be forced to go Mercs first here.
Such a difficult early game.
Yeah, Mercs first.
Doesn't give them a lot of avenues.
Really hurts your clear speed.
Really wants that level 6, falling behind the Nidalee. Absolutely not what needed to happen.
But really hard to push away when you have no AD.
Is the game going to be a bit trickier?
Oh, that was a nice cue. Right through the minion at the proper opportunity.
Minute and a half, 2 minutes away, and Pays and Lehens set up with a bit of jungle support here coming down. BLG are going to need to respect this, but don't have any info on where the Nidalee is. Oh, one to On, good start, spear connects, follow-up is here, that's going to be one dead Catfish, Abyssal dive out, Lehens grabbing that one, and yet another bot side kill.
It's just decimation on the bot side of the map in favor of Gen G. Canyon going to clear out this vision, and Xun is just isolated on the top of the map. Yes, he's getting camps, he's farming well, but he's going to have to be so strong in the fights later on, because Gen G is already looking to run away with the game.
It's what we said, Xun. This Diana, it's just not going to have the same impact for 3-6. She's a decent duelist in a 1v1, maybe a 2v2, but that's not the case. Meanwhile, Canyon, with the setup he has in his lane, continuously able to visit and revisit, all thanks to this early summoners being blown.
And I think the tricky position you're in now for BLG, you're trying the center lanes for yourself. It is not working. Gen.G are punishing you the exact same way you tried to punish them. And Canyon still dominant on this Nidalee, despite, you know, Nidalee Hui maybe not being a pretty standard jungle mid-combo at all.
So it doesn't matter.
Jovi's just in isolation, just winning. All the bans sent at him just have not been impactful yet, and BLG are going to be suffering on, taking a lot of upfront damage.
You should be
skin there.
Now. But the Raptors, there's nothing you can do about it on. And look at this wave. Oh, that is not a good spot to be in. So much farm is being denied away from On and Elk. Elk did make his way towards mid. He knows the bot is doomed right now, so he's staying around mid lane. Chovy, that's his credit. You already highlighted it. I'm really impressed with how this matchup is going. I wasn't expecting this to be so favorable to the Hui, but Chovy demonstrating that if you give him an opportunity to build a lead, he will in fact build a lead. And look at that, 73 CS at 7 minutes 30. Chovy is Chovy.
Sean looking for the angle potentially to attack mid lane. Elk just wandering around with him, picking up additional souls.
Oh, sorry. My chair arm got stuck under.
In the meantime, Pei's pretty content to keep just deleting minions, deleting income, denying BLG any avenue to come back.
And we've seen other teams cross-map, right? You dive with the Cassante on the top side so that you're at least getting something back, but it's Poppy!
It's Poppy!
With a Diana! Like, you try and charge into you, and then, oh,
yeah, you E under turret, you just die.
The ultimate as well. Like, this Poppy is impossibly difficult to dive. So, yeah. BLG just don't have any early game options right now as the bot lane continues to be isolated from any support.
The big thing here for BLG,
really good showing from Gen.G.
That they were able to find some amazing team fight angles. And
if this Diana doesn't work out, then they're gonna have to change their draft.
Level 4, level 5.
Don't want to give him a chance to team fight. Elk level 4, got a couple extra souls on the roam, a bit of extra range, but a nice sidestep isn't going to matter much when he connects into the wall. Spear hitting Elk down. Gen.G again dominating through bot side. On's going to be in trouble. Spear does connect. Walking down. No one's roaming to help. No one is moving on the side of BLG. On going to get canceled.
Oh, Canyon got
Canyon
aggro.
taking tower.
Pei's got aggro.
Pei's got aggro as well, and now On. He's going to take nice quick trip to the fountain. Flash.
Committed the flash. This is a travesty for BLG's bot lane.
Why did he commit the flash?
And let's look back to the start of the day. If you remember the big board that our analyst desk put up, the bot lane was supposed to be where BLG won confidently. They were supposed to have a massive advantage. Gen.G nullified so much of that in Game 2, and now they have turned it back on them in Game 3, dominating with the support of Canyon.
And naturally, people are going to say, oh, it's the Senna, it's the Tahm Kench, but it's the fact that Raptors was where the start happened. Your jungler being in a position to never assist, never cover, never stop these dives from happening, just gives completely free reign for Canyon to literally do whatever he wants.
That's the big thing. The early force of the summoners by Pei's and Lahens alone, that's a nice lead. You might be able to build a little bit of an advantage from the back of that. Yeah. Oh, guys, you guys can't see the visceral reaction that Vetty is having, but it's rough.
Oh, he flashed in place. Oh, that feels so bad.
Canyon blinds Nidalee, which, by the way, we were playing in a meta. Junglers are building Knight's Vow and Locket, and the man is playing Nidalee. BLG need to find an angle somewhere, but it's so tough.
The angle is, for now, Chovy missing the ultimate. Knight wants to step up a Canyon.
It's okay. So it's all a ploy.
Well, didn't need it.
Chovy's just, saying, I don't need it. 5 fans, my ulti. No, he probably whiffed, but it's okay.
Is actually going to get his Raptors, which means that Shun, like, he's moving into his bot side of the map, finally, but there's no camps for him to take. Dragon is available in 40 seconds time. The grubs are going to be secured by Gen.G. But this early game has just been a one-sided stomp. Shun can't find anything to steal right now.
It's going to have to be that one-more combo. Diana going in, finding multiple people, follow-up from On.
Pei's.
I mean, Pei's can't do anything here.
He pokes Shun, at the very least.
Oh, there's no TP.
Are they finally? No.
Pei's is just going to back up. Has pressure on the top side.
Yeah, with Canyon being towards top, he just has to drop the wave, but they don't even have a real dive threat here. They don't want to risk it because Lahen's already there.
Gentlemen, Gen.G are incredibly far ahead at 11 minutes. 5 kills, 3K up.
Yeah, I'm not. This isn't really how I expected Game 3, particularly with how Game 1 and 2 felt like whenever one of the two teams got to play their respective style, they looked amazing. Team fighting for BLG in game number 1.
So can you dodge the Hui passive damage? Or is it like, because it creates a zone, right? But I guess if you're fast enough, can you move out of it? Or is it like guaranteed?
So difficult to
Alton hasn't played enough Hui as to where I can like...
Continues to free hit on this objective. As the 3 grub buff, neither side going to be able to get 4 for the mites, but Canyon, unsurprisingly, just shreds through the objective there, continues to extend this lead from the side of Gen G, and whereas previously, game 1, pretty even up until those team fights, BLG are not going to be even in this game without a miracle of a team fight. They will not get the opportunity to fight on even footing.
Okay,
Gen G are just so wildly far ahead.
Chovy has
I mean, what else is there to say, really?
more than 10 CS a minute.
BLG need to find a big fight. It's kind of their best opportunity.
How does Chovy do it?
Shadowing the bot side of the map. There are
How does Ben do it? What the fuck, yo? Like these pro games, man. What the fuck? How do you find the CS? How do you find the CS?
Pretty good job, but in terms of gold, that's a 1k lead for Canyon. The Lichbane is on its way. Admittedly, already secured for Shun, but yeah, I mean, this is looking rough for BLG. They're going to have to show us their team fighting prowess once again if they want to turn this game around. Gen G just need to keep it calm, cool, collected. Canyon needs to keep doing what he's doing.
It doesn't matter what Chovy's playing.
Setups I think have been on point so far this series. Dragon spawning 4 minutes, Herald.
If Knight's not on Ari,
surprised to see that bot lane actually move up.
Knight's impact is very limited.
Send the Keen down towards the bottom lane so they can set up to fight for this Herald.
And I think the one thing we know you never want to let Gen G do is play a slow game on their terms. Play with these control mages, these scaling threats in the mid lane, with so many tools to deny the fight.
Yeah, because like, your Diana's not ahead.
Still getting a bit of extra soul.
Sure, she has like same CS, but she's 0-0-0.
That's a poppy, guys.
That leaves up a
still a poppy. Trying to push the wave in. Are they ready to fully commit?
They know the Senna's nearby because they saw the souls.
Canyon, on the other hand, very happy to see members on the top side of the map, giving him premier access to yet another of Shun's buffs.
He's caught up now as well. The one lead that Shun had was about, what, 20 CS? That's now evaporated because of the control that Gen G had with their lanes.
Canyon investing time on the bot side of the map. Oh, hang on.
Flash out. Now going to Abyssal Dive back in, but will not connect any skills whatsoever. Canyon doing a ton of damage, but overestimates his initial damage output. Heal coming in. Diana on the hunt. Nice sidestep on the hook. Lahen's committing. That's the ulti. But no kills yet. Elk chasing. Good sidestep on the initial Q. Lahen's getting chunked away at Elk. Really starting to hurt. Good pullback on the face call, but now Pays might be in trouble. Abyssal Dive. Bin off to the side, trying to isolate Chovy. Dashing out, though, as the TP comes in. Keen on the way to make sure nothing else happens to that battle.
BLG looking for a moment of weakness there on tankier than Gen G had expected. They throw a lot into trying to kill this, pay with it. They have to pay for it with a bunch of flashes and Keen's TP.
I mean, that was a bit of an overstep from Gen G. I think them threatening that dive onto On rather than just pressuring the tower was a bit of a mistake, and credit to BLG recognizing that and trying to convert it into a winning fight. Look at all those flashes. Pays, Chovy, Canyon, all committed. But the same
but On, Elk, Shun, and Vince goes.
To go for that skirmish, knowing that was an opportunity to turn the game around.
Hands on the chase. On. Barely able to walk away. This Tahm Kench has just been bullied all game long, but now it's Chovy who's going to be in trouble. Initial upfront damage from Shun is good, but they see the rest of Gen G coming.
They don't commit to that. Wait, maybe the Diana. Yeah, Diana didn't quite have ulti up. That makes sense. Knight now makes his way back to mid.
Severing Bolt. Dashing away from Canyon. Rocket jump out as Canyon just continues to step up with these spears and harass. Lane economy snapshot, very telling of the state of the game, although slightly misleading because of the Senna combo, but meanwhile, a bit of a fight started in the mid lane. Flash in from Keen, look for the knockback on one. Takes the Tahm Kench out. Perhaps not the ideal target, but the mid lane certainly is. Gen G about to knock that one down, but do not finish it.
Tense affair as both teams gather in mid lane. That tower is a hair's breadth with being knocked down.
It's a poke war though. As long as Shun doesn't find an angle on the fight, Gen G just going to sit here and throw skill shots.
I mean, this is what we talked about, right? The range on Gen G in situations like this, where it's about contesting waves, fighting over neutrals. Gen G should just have the advantage with the sheer amount of poke that they have. The sustain from Senna is going to help a little bit, but it's just so annoying How do you deal with all this pressure that Genji is constantly throwing out?
Look at top wave state, look at bot wave state. It's only just now hitting the tower, the fight breaking out. Keen taking a lot of poke though, getting caught. The Poppy taken down, not getting one kill, has the reset on the rocket jump. Chovy trying to run away, been not able to connect on the Atofu strikes, and a solid pick from the side of BLG.
So it's an overstep from Genji that BLG can finally find that punish. Their first kill of the game will result in a Herald being secured, but with the Dragon in 10 seconds, Genji can just look to put themselves on soul point.
Genji is really tunneling on getting this mid lane turret because they're the poke comp, want to try and take that down. Lands, hooks a minion.
Poke, ulti going in onto Elk. Elk trying to get into the Shroud and get away. Nice damage onto On, Spiraling Despair, somewhat effective. Bin now trying to get away as well. Severing Bolt only hitting On. Canyon happy to walk into the tower because he can one-shot it with the Lich Bane. Clean pick in mid.
Alright, then that's a free dragon. Soul point. Ocean Soul point. Wow, okay. And with these extended fights, that's kind of disgusting.
I think it's still going to offer you a lot of great value in this game, especially in a war of
I'll be honest, it's cool that Tristana might be able to get a turret top.
Herald short is still a nice pickup, but
nope.
BLG,
here,
even though they found their first kill of the game, I don't know if it's going to do much to swing the momentum.
Keen there, I think, really some muscle memory from all the Cassante games that he played. Poppy is quite tanky, especially when you get lower thanks to the resistances on your W, but don't have the same amount of maneuverability in a fight.
Yeah, the engage here from Genji's kind of they're showing the second fight. Yeah. Sadly, Canyon Q's a minion. That was really good. I mean, if Santa took that and literally jumped in,
my bad on that one, but it's the poke that lands, and the poke alone is enough to take this turret. And I kind of wonder if they didn't want to try and threaten maybe a flank there from Shun, because Genji, it felt like they were really committing to that. Could have caught them off guard there.
Potentially, Shen will tick over to level 11, but we're yet to see him find that.
So we're going Terminus second item on Paze. Makes sense.
Members, that ultimate does more damage. It definitely can be huge at turning a fight around.
Adding survivability.
But the question is, can BLG find it? Flashes are now back up across the board, or at the very least, they will be coming up very, very soon, which means that for the next fight, it's going to be interesting. Wow, the commitment of the Herald bot, I kind of expected it to be used mid, because against Hui it can be very difficult to siege, but they want to unlock this tower, maybe escort it towards the tier 2. I don't think Keen's going to do much to be able to stop this unless he can get the eye. No. So, a bit of extra damage gained from BLG. Dragon still not for a while. And they will at least take a consolation prize in the form of the blue buff.
It's still bigger from BLG though, because with that mid lane play, I think some of the grip that Genji had on this game has been taken. A still sizable gold lead, soul point here. I don't think BLG get a lot of opportunities for mistakes, but some gold on Knight specifically does make him a bigger menace in that sideline item.
For sure.
Damn, what was that audiobook?
Credit to Bin as well, his farm, 194.
Yeah.
Solo laners, well, okay, maybe not for Keen. He's having a bit of a rough one, but that's okay. He's Poppy.
He's there for one job and one job only. It's to push
okay, two item Kalista though, 2 item point.
That's all he needs to do.
Not in the
almost
farm,
2 item Nidalee.
Category has made that presence known as Gen G. Multiple members committed. Poppy going to try and catch the wave on the bottom side as Gen G just threaten here past 20 minutes. Of course, can get their entire team as blue buff they secure, but that's the lock-up onto Lehens. Fake call denying the play. Spiraling Despair onto On. Everybody wants the blue, but BLG are going to be the ones to get it. And now the TP coming out. Bin rooted up. Nice use of the eye coming out from Hui there.
On. Often the front line. The eye acting as a zoning tool from Chovy.
Oh, Rocket Belt done now for Shun. Gives him a decent amount of extra reach.
Decent pullback. Bin going to be really tanky. So easy for him to itemize that MR. Now it's Canyon who's been caught out. He tries to flash back. Cassante on the chase here. Canyon take it down. Bin right when they need him. Keen trying to disengage, but he's getting devoured alive. Chovy now trying to turn the fight back. He's the red carpet won't be enough. Keen take it down. The diagonal coming in clutch. BLG.
Okay, so you can avoid the circle damage.
Huge fight for BLG. Could
okay.
Lock the Baron. 5 members to 3. There's no smite available on Canyon. How confident do they feel with Chovy and Paze alive? They're saying, let's go for it.
TPN, this is their opportunity. This is their window. Nabori finished for Knight. Already in the play, Gen.G risking a lot to contest here. The AoE from Chovy, will it be enough? Bin stepping up, unkillable. The root connecting from the way. Nice bit of damage on the Spiral and Despair. They're all caught in the back of the pit. Maybe they can turn it back on now, spinning it out to keep the jungler standing. Chovy already taken down. Oh, the Baron getting lowered. They will secure it on the side of BLG, but now Gen.G are on the hunt, looking to take as many buffs away as they can. Knight running, Elk running, Bin trying to find a way out without it, because they're not going to connect on the spear. Crucially, Knight in trouble. Pays taking one. Lehens gonna look to make it two. They get the Baron, but they lose so many in the trade.
BLG, I don't know if that one is going to be worth. They understandably want to try and take full control of this game, retake the momentum after Gen.G make a colossal mistake around the fight.
It's a negative 400 gold Baron right now?
Absolutely huge.
Was it?
Damage of Chovy and the
I can't tell if it was.
That ends up being the difference.
Okay.
Superstar play here from Bin. We've seen what Cassante can do. He's able to stun up Canyon, brings him back after
amazing.
The timing, a bit of a blunder there. As Keen on the front line trying to create space for his team to disengage. A nice
but the fact that they can win fights 3v5
we're back to live as the Dragon
is a little bit insane.
And the fight over the mid wave begins.
Yeah.
Buff is on Bin. Bin, 1.4k gold up. He needs to come up huge, otherwise Gen.G gonna get soul here.
So often the story for BLG, Bin, the one who can come up clutch. Abyssal Voyage not gonna connect anybody but on. Incredibly tanky, Shun fishing for the angle. Knockup is there, knockback coming in for Keen. Currently a 4v5. But the damage, not enough to lock down Bin.
Gen.G need to play these fights slower. They need to leverage their range, their poke, force BLG to walk into their damage over time. An all-in from BLG is exactly what they're looking for. And here we are, Gen.G now slowly starting to disengage a little bit. The healing valuable from Elk as the Dragon is starting.
Another Abyssal dive into the back line. On getting shredded though, the follow-up not there. Chovy quick to punish as they walk into the choke. It's a free kill for the side of Gen.G. Now at a man disadvantage, do they want to keep going? Shun praying for the fight, praying for the angle. Gen.G aren't going to give it to him. Fate's call going in. Elk down. Only 3 members left on the side of BLG. Slowly but surely, with patience, Gen.G are winning the fight. Bin getting lower and lower. Knight now pulled back, knocked into the wall. It's clean from Keen in the nick of time. Bin running. He will not get out. Steadfast as ever. Keen denies the exit. Shun will not find his ulti. He will not find his angle. And Gen.G obliterate BLG.
Gen.G slow the game down and
that's
look at the amount of damage coming
5 for 0. Holy shit. And now they get Ocean Soul for free. They probably even no inhib.
Need to calm down. It's on that go in. BLG know they need.
Pace is huge this game, man. What the fuck?
If this goes
man, On's been a bit of a liability this game. Holy shit, that's crazy. And Italy wasn't even on 2 items.
Look at how initially
that's so big.
With the engage. He's taken a decent amount of damage, but the follow-up, they burst him down.
Where's the Diana?
Of the Q from Chovy
the Diana's playing like she's a mage, not an assassin.
And then it just becomes a chase down, target after target.
Yeah, it's attack speed on Pace. Like Pace is the on-hit build, but he's so far ahead that he does so much damage.
Back to live at the tail end of this fight. You can see in the picture-in-picture as we focus up. Shun, of course, eventually taken down. But Gen.G establishing control. They've got Ocean Soul.
Yeah, Nidalee is still just on 1 item.
It's difficult for BLG to do anything. A single standout
crazy
moment from Bin, getting them the Baron, but otherwise
insane.
A very quiet game. 3-15.
Hayes working on his 4th item.
Feel good.
This has to feel bad for BLG because like they lost the fight where the Nidalee had an item disadvantage, and yet still one spear still did 50+% of Senna's HP. It's crazy.
And bring us to match point.
Main thing now for Gen.G.
Chubby's like, I'm gonna find you.
Don't overextend. We've seen BLG still looking for the fight, still looking for the counter punch.
They can. There are some fights they can take, but
this fight's going to be big. We saw Canyon taking out already makes it hard, but they were still able to win the fight nonetheless. But if they get Chovy and or Pace, so much consistent damage gets taken away from this Gen.G comp. 7 or almost 7k gold. Are they up now? And this is where it gets hard. Trying to defend against this siege with the Hui sitting at 2.5 items and Nidalee poking away.
A poke, Canyon waiting over the wall, hiding the spear as much as possible. Knight gonna get hit there. Poke coming through, Abyssal Voyage back, just trying to threaten. Just posture as if there's something to be done.
The siege is lethal from Gen G. We already talked about their range, and it's a difficult thing to deal with. Chovy gonna TP back to bot lane to catch that wave. I mean, if there's farm, Chovy's got to grab it. And that he will do. The Elder spawns in 3.5 minutes. The Baron in 45 seconds. And that Baron will likely be BLG's last real attempt at turning this game around. I'd like to give BLG fans more hope, but you kind of look at the item difference and it's
I think Chovy here finishes his third item, maybe?
Strong. The front line is solid.
Or at least blasting one? Yeah, okay, finishes the third item. Okay.
To turn this game around.
Big thing here as well is Leandries for Canyon. Void stuff, not Creep Bloom, Void stuff now done for Chovy as well. It seems like Genji will
he's going to melt.
The fact that Bin was so hard to deal with in some of these last fights is a big problem. So a lot of resistance shredding now available here for them. Also an arm guard for Canyon or BLG. Gonna have to try and find a Hail Mary fight again. It comes down to that mid, to that AD. Otherwise, Genji, they can set up at the objective and just poke away.
Lehens walking forward, laying down the vision to make sure that Genji have an optimal angle of attack. Chovy ready to poke over the wall. Quick flash out from Lehens.
That's fine. He's just putting Hex Flash available.
No, I think that was a Hex Flash. Maybe I'm imagining.
Hex Flash coming out regardless. And Genji now pushing back. The rest of the team have all their summoners up. Could be one final fight here. Root onto Bin, free damage. No one on the side of BLG able to follow up or protect this. Kazante, now the steadfast presence. Pays just stacking up spears. Keeper's Verdict channel.
But that's a Baron now. I mean, they've done the damage. They did what they need to do. They can force the TP out from Bin. And again, try and face check this comp. Go ahead, do it without Bin.
Keen, bit of harass, spiraling despair, now denying the Diana her exit. And with the ulti taken off the table, it's so damn easy for Genji. Lehens already hitting the hook on the Knight. Chovy immediately gonna fall up with a bit of extra poke. Bin trying to buy as much time as he can, but Knight is getting taken down. Keen on the Poppy, just refusing to die, will dash back. This Knight manages to hit him with the ultimate, and in the meantime, doing so much damage. Genji taking over in game 3. They're gonna end it here.
Genji gonna get to match point here.
Oh,
First seed of the LCK,
that
but they have
was a disgusting game by BLG. Holy shit, this team's nasty. Alright, so the Diana counter pick didn't do anything this game. Nope. Literal NPC.
BLG unable to punch back.
Dominance just about from start to finish. Canyon a menace as expected, but all of Genji coming together. 10-0-7.
Good shit. Amazing play by Genji. We'll see you guys for match point. Alright, match point.
Genji, the upper bracket winner, going to finals, having the luxury of watching everyone else fight for the opportunity. But here, a lot has to change for BLG if they want to strike back.
Okay, we're not going to have 5 mid lane bans this time. We may settle with 4, but let's see. Senna, okay, so they've just removed the option entirely. Back to Kalista, boys.
I mean, to be fair, we have to see what Chovy picks, because those are the bans they lost, right? They lost so many bans targeted specifically at Chovy, but this, in theory, will finally let Elkanon remind people as to why they were favorites, because if not, BLG are getting sent to the losers bracket.
Is it a Lucian Nami angle? What do you think? You trust Pays and Lehens?
Whoa. I don't know if it's about trust. It's just about, do they think that it is the next strongest option? I think they might. Alternatively, could look towards Avarus, but Pays...
Well, apparently I trust them all that
I think it makes sense.
Lucian Vi, maybe? Lucian Xin? It depends if they want to keep giving Canyon the ability to counterpick. They could just lock in the Nami now, see what BLG do, and then kind of respond. Because this bot lane has proven that they're happy to just kind of bite the bullet, tank it, whatever, just so they can better set up their teammates for success.
And both of the kind of aggressive laning options for Kalista supports are available. Rumble and Nico, obviously the two that we've seen the most. See if that's something that BLG want to do.
Yeah, I was
fight
about to say,
fire
it's
with
just but, okay, hear me out. So this is the thing with Chovy. He has all these cool, the Yone, But if he thinks Azir is the best pick, he's blinding Azir every single game. If he thinks Corki's the best pick, which seems to be the case right now, he is blinding Corki every single game. And unsurprisingly, it's going to be the case as Shun love this look. Shun not being on a really, really big power pick early on, I think was a large part of why the game felt so insanely one-sided for Gen.G, as Canyon just got to take over completely. This Vi is a power pick into slippery things like the Lucian.
It's a Poppy angle, gentlemen.
When is it not?
I'm starting to be concerned that it's just all... Maybe Poppy is perhaps just strong. Of course.
I really think BLG should consider banning it, especially if they're thinking about blinding a Cassante once more. So Gen.G, they're going to make that mid pool smaller, take the Orianna away from Knight. I wonder if they're fine giving Azir tonight. We know that it isn't one of his best performing champions. Nico is something that they could put higher on the ban list if they're concerned about it. But we'll have to wait and see. Do Gen.G even want to ban another mid laner? Maybe they want to ban out something like a top laner, the Cassante, the Vayne, depending on what they want to, depends what they want to pick here.
Might go for the Vayne ban and then just R for the Cassante, again give over counter pick. Although they already know that the Vi is there, but maybe they want to keep it a secret. Really good shout out on the Nico. I think Nico, Vi in particular, is one of those 1-2 combos that makes it so hard to play out any of the mid-game fights. It has looked really good on the type of pick where it can have that mid-game impact.
And agency really has been the name of the game for BLG. Game 1, they had so much of it. Gen.G have done such a beautiful job in Game 2 and 3's draft of taking it away from them. Now you've got a Vi, you've got a Kalista, the Renata, lots of playmaking, early aggressive tools.
Hey.
Poppy will be banned. Betty on a roll.
You know, I'm thinking of that SpongeBob meme of, do you want to watch me run to that rock? And Canyon going, want to watch me lock in Italy? Want to watch me do it again?
Yeah, but instead of a rock, he's running into wins against BLG, so we'll see if he runs into a rock this time around. I think BLG are certainly praying for that angle.
Okay. Canyon, this is not what we signed up for. Do you reckon he's got some sort of term in his contract that says, okay, you're allowed 2 Nidalee games and then back to tanks?
Yeah, that's the Kazakhs game, you know, that was the one thing he got. And then he tried it again against Fnatic, but they were like, oh, wait, calm down now.
All right, so Maokai.
The one thing I do like about the Maokai specifically is that already BLG are very clearly going to hard commit to playing a very short range, skirmish heavy style with this Vi, with this Kalista, with the Renata. And Maokai is really strong in those type of comps. We've also seen that combo of Nami, Wave plus Maokai ults can be really good for mid-game fight setups.
Mid-game fight setup is also just protecting that back line.
Yeah.
Azir, again, if you're not familiar with Knight, he's known for so many different picks. Azir is really not one of them. Obviously a world-class player, no doubt in anyone's mind.
He's been playing it more this split and this year. He's been trying it, but now this is more like it.
Yes! Okay! And I like it. If you're going to go out in a series, go out playing something you want to play. Knight trying something new on the international stage. Vex, a champion. Obviously favored in a lot of these matchups where there are dashes, can interrupt a lot of these abilities.
I mean, this is definitely much more within the wheel book of Knight. Like, when we think about him, Azir is not something that he has a huge amount of success with. Definitely he can, like, play it, but not to the same proficiency as so many other mid laners around the world. This, on the other hand, career-wise, he has a 75% win rate on the champion. He has so much playmaking potential on the champion. Against dashes, it can be really effective thanks to the passive, and I'm excited for it because I think that when you have Cassante, Vi, you want something that can dive alongside them, and Vex is a really good champion at working with that. So I'm excited to see if this can work because BLG needed a change. We needed to see a greater impact from Knight, and I think we're going to get to see it with this Vex.
It's going to have to, and if we're learning something this tournament, G2, they paved the way with it, but Gen.G is showing it even in this series. Go for picks that might not lie within the meta, but that work for you. In this case, I think the Vex is amazing, as you already pointed out. The fact that now it won't be Shun diving alone, he has a diving buddy to go with him, is going to be pivotal. Do you think that this engage from Gen.G is something that can be tough?
And with BLG's backs against the wall, all of Chengdu coming alive. Jio fuel for the effort ahead of them. Only 2 back-to-back wins. 1 game, 1 pick, 1 angle, not enough to secure their place in the grand finals.
Let's see if BLG can bring us to game 5 off the back of a Vex. It would definitely be an interesting one. In game 1, Chovy tested Knight, and Knight passed that test with flying colors.
Oh yeah.
Game 2 and 3, Chovy bounced back with some comfort picks of his own and showed that he is not a mid laner to be messed with. And now here in Game 4, Knight bringing out a little bit of flair once more into Chovy's Corki, of all things. Let's see how this one pans out. Game 4, BLG versus Gen G.
As the crowd goes absolutely crazy. BLG, last time these two teams met, it went to 5 games as well. Then it was BLG who went up 2-0. Gen G fought back to that final game and then were nearly able to make it work. This Corki though, I really feel like it is very similar to things we've seen before, like with the Nautilus mid, where someone plays it and it looks so broken, and then everyone else plays it, and it takes us a really long time to realize that Corki in this tournament has not been that good.
If you look at this champion in solo queue in the context of this patch, 44% win rate, abysmal. In the hands of most mid laners in this tournament, 50% win rate. It's a coin flip. In the hands of Chovy, it is only 4 games, this being his 5th. 75%, 3-1. He plays it different. He plays it better. Gen G play with it better, and that's something that BLG are going to have to navigate.
They predicted the swap. Gen G's here to answer, and Elk doesn't
they don't
know.
They don't know!
The crowd hoping the noise carries through. Big damage onto Elk. Positive start. Elk and On want to come out on top in the 2v2 here. They were supposed to be stronger. They were supposed to be better. Now finally we have an explosive 2v2. Pays and Lahens already with the lead.
I think this is the first time at MSI that they've matched the swap.
Yeah.
So we've got bot lane as top. And the crucial thing about doing this is it gives Keen a good laning phase. Twisted Fate doesn't have to be miserable for the first few levels.
All
and
right.
he can actually abuse the strength of picking TF into this matchup.
That's why we saw BLG, even though they had a really aggressive bot lane in game number 1, swap away. We highlighted it back then. Main reason being that the early levels for the Cassandra is where he gets so much of his power, or rather of the Twisted Fate is where he gets so much of his power, where you take control of that lane. It does mean though a big test for Pays and Lahens. Last game, with the help of Canyon, they were able to get the better. Can they do it as well?
Couple autos here, platform on the handshake. Pays, quick cleanse, good damage down. The Ignite taking Pays, now trying to get a bit more damage in the trade, but Elk is low as well, and it's Lahens who's stepping forward, empowering himself over Pays to try to finish the job.
Both junglers are going to be looking towards that top side of the map.
Pays, flash forward.
Pays Lahens just beating up Elk and On, and this is probably one of their best bot lanes. Like, obviously you often attribute Elk to his Lucian, but that level of aggression, the cleanse from On with the handshake. I love the way On uses Renata in the early levels, but the way that Pays reacted was flawless, and it's the bot lane of Gen G that come out ahead.
It's that early trade. It's the fact that they read the play, that they were able to get that chunk onto Elk. Otherwise, that play would not have even been close.
And look at the swap now. Elk actually making his way towards bot lane. They want to try and make the swap happen, but Gen G read it. Pays is on his way to bot too. Gen G would seem to be in the heads of BLG in this early game. The TP from Bin will come through. He's going to go and catch the top wave, but to the disappointment of Elk, he's going to find that Pays is ready and waiting as he returns to the bot lane.
Certainly is. Gank in the mid lane. Getting the early flash. Chovy respecting, knowing if the fear connects, the fist guaranteed to follow.
Big win. That means that post 6, Shun having a great opportunity here towards the mid lane. Shun is a level up, but this is where the bot lane advantage comes into play. Pays already on the wave. As it's actually On that's picked up the experience lead due to him sticking around for a little bit longer there near it. And top, this matchup, Corki did have to give up a decent amount of the CS, ghosted back towards the lane to ensure that he did stay in this matchup.
But it's not the end of the world. You can see Goldwise's passive kind of carrying him through.
Of course.
So it's not too bad. And been able to weather the worst of it. The bot lane difference, even after all the skirmishing, a lot of summoners were used, but no significant advantage gained either way. Knight, though, playing very aggressively in the bot lane. Sorry, in the bot lane, in the mid lane 1v1, I should say. Nice to see some uniqueness coming out from Knight in the mid lane.
One big thing though is that this Kalista Renata lane I think gains a lot of power once you get from level 3 onwards, particularly before the level 6 is available for Pays and Lahens. There is a window here. Shun, his early impact has been so pivotal for the dominance of Elk and On. Canyon is in the general vicinity. Don't know if Gen G is going to be able to contest because Knight, level 6 now hit, gets the shove in mid. It looks like Gen G are going to have to give it the objective.
Very often we would see BLG threatening a dive here, but because the Dragon has been started, that's unlikely to be the case. Canyon trying to be zoned away by Knight, who has pressure in the mid lane 1 versus 1. You can see some really nice damage coming out from On and Elk, but they're just going to use this pressure to convert it into an early objective. They're not going to risk the dive for now.
Okay.
Much more control in this game 4 early game from BLG. Much better tools to be proactive on the map. Lens and Pays have to be careful, but have the luxury of good vision, giving them all the information they need to play safe here.
Here comes Chovy.
They're on their way.
Forky on the way, double bubble is big, bit of poke coming in from Chovy. Now BLG can see this is not the play they were looking for. Knight taking a bit of poke here. Good trade back, and now it's first blood, it's clean from the side of BLG. Lahen's overconfident.
The handshake from On was immaculate. The chain damage that came down from BLG didn't give Lahen's an opportunity to get away. And you can see the difference. Knight with control over mid, the way he works with Jun to pressure bot. This is the style that BLG like to leverage in the early game, and they're off to an early lead.
Crucially, for Gen G, Keen is doing okay here towards this top side. This is the matchup we were talking about that you want to try and keep being out of, and we see again. There we go, towards top. Go Elk and On. Might also be to contest here for the early
I think it is the Grubs. Yeah. I mean, they have the lead now, right? It's not a significant one, but being able to pick up that early lethality onto Elk means that he's going to be feeling pretty strong. There is a big experience difference between Pays and Elk, which is something to keep our eyes on, but overall, BLG feeling confident in Game 4.
BLG first on the move up, Elk still only level 4, but should pretty proactive and starting the objective there. Chovy, though, going to take that opportunity to poke out Knight, knowing that he has the immediate man advantage. So far, just 2 of the Grubs. Flash forward coming in from Canyon. That's the Destiny. Knight, does he want to try and turn this one back? Good gold card to kick things off. Just going to be a quick pick onto On.
It's the TF paying its dividends. Keen surprising BLG, catching them off guard. Then we'll be able to crash away, but because the kill actually goes over to the TF here, he's still going to be working from a deficit. No one is going towards Keen is moving over now.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit late, so he's going to lose a decent amount of farm as Bin secures a few more plates. But I like that flash in from Canyon too, recognizing there was a window for Gen G to leverage their numbers and get a winning fight. They get 1 grub in exchange. Nice positioning from Bin, really zoning Keen away from as much farm as possible. He's really making things difficult for Keen. That wave is just disappearing.
Bin trading his health bar to zone him off, knowing that his all-in threat is too great for Keen to contend with. Eventually does get pushed backwards, but now the ulti coming in from Canyon. Cat's on the way. On. No tools to escape. Elk not level 6. Excellent timing from Gen G just to get the summoner.
There's another summoner gone. Jun and Knight. Oh, again, look at them working together. Jun and Knight threatening the bot lane. They might be top now, but that doesn't change the aggression coming out from this mid-jungle duo.
Crucially, Pays burned ultimate. They know Canyon has no ultimate either. Might be an angle for a dive on the top side, but BLG don't want to overcommit. In the meantime, Ben starting to get pushed in here again by Keen.
Still tough with the Maokai there, even without the ultimate. A lot of CC available, a lot of stall, and you see BLG to keep looking for these openings, not giving them as Keen.
Dash forward with the W, doesn't quite able to connect on the Q3. Alti though, Ben wants to make the difference. Ben wants to be the one to make it happen. It's the ghost out from Keen. Alti now coming in. Shadow Strike gonna connect. Knight ready to fall if he needs to. Can just reactivate the ult. Gets the kill. BLG on the top side.
That's the combo we were talking about. That's Knight with agency. And Canyon gets found in his jungle. Ends up going down.
Elk fates call. Flash forward. They just want to obliterate this Nami. Lahen's is so damn squishy. Hail of Blades and lethality. They finish him off, and now Pays trying desperately to turn it back. Elk with a blinking health bar, but already the cleanse coming out from Pays. Does he want to chase this? How long in the Relentless Pursuit? That's enough! Pays taking down Elk, but Jun here to punish. There's already a TP though. Pays needs to just get a bit more time. Needs to get away from the ball breaker for the handshake. Oh, the alley-oop, but Jun ends it quick with a fist to the face.
On is firm with his grip, and he moves the enemy where he pleases. Well played by him to set up the kill onto Lahen's. Pays feeling desperate, flashes in to get something back. But it is a 1-team fight once again. It's not a team fight, it's more just like BLG dominating in the early game. It's not translating into a significant gold lead, but look at the difference in confidence from BLG.
This might be the game 5 angle.
Different look here, Elk going in. They know there is no ultimate on Pays, just not enough damage. Lahen's crucially doesn't have his wave yet, so there's no risk whatsoever. It's pace.
He hesitates.
For a second there.
Yeah.
And you know he had the right instinct, ends up trading, but that's still a 2-for-1 trade. I don't think they're going to feel
And then look at this
too
handshake
about.
here, really nice, just as the dash comes out.
Good play from On.
Leading in kills.
Fans unsurprisingly enthusiastic as Gen G try to set up around the Drake. Chovy already pushing in the bottom lane. Lucian Nami posted up mid.
Wave is here for the hands. If Gen G get first setup, they should still be really, really strong in these type of Drake fights. They are here first, but BLG take control.
Lahens has to be incredibly careful. Very squishy. Knight with long range engage in the form.
Package.
Shadow Strike. On tries to find the handshake. It does not work, and now it's the package across the entire team. On just wants to turn it back. Shadow Strike. Shadow Surge, excuse me, the fear coming out. Knight trying to burn through pace. It's so down quick, but he doesn't have the follow that he needs now. It is Ben stepping forward, unstoppable, trying to lock down Canyon. The fear coming through, but he can't even walk away. As Shun grabs the kill.
It's a 1-for-1, but BLG have fought their way into the Dragon Pit. They're looking to secure their second of the game. And they're getting scrappy. They're willing to skirmish. Gen G caught off guard as they're forced to retreat.
Gen G invest a lot there in starting the fight, but that means that when the eventual engage comes through, you don't have a whole lot of tools. It's again Knight.
Yeah, that's like the big problem is for junglers.
Re-engage with the Vex, able, even with On going down at the start of that fight, to find an advantage. Shun might not be done yet. He didn't use his ultimate. Keen.
Ben walking forward, has the Q3, not quite going to connect on Keen. Nice sidestep, gold card to interrupt the Vine. Doesn't want any channel to now come through, but it's Canyon looking to turn the play back. Lahens on the way in. Ben uses the footwork to dash over the wall. On there to back them up. The play is going to build a nice cover from the side of Gen G.
I really thought that Ben was going to be punished there, but his dash over the wall was well placed. Gets away to safety with Jun. And now we look back at this fight. It starts off with On trying to control the space with the handshake. It doesn't quite connect. Remember that he doesn't have any flash to get out of this, so an overall good collapse. Nice ulti too, does some initial damage. And then Knight with the ultimate, chunks out pace, almost gets the kill, but doesn't quite have enough damage at this point in the game. Keen is zoned away, and then they're able to lock down Canyon, ultimately resulting in a 1-for-1.
Crucially, Knight there not getting hit by the bubble means that there is not enough CC, there's not enough burst. Gen G has to back off and basically leave Canyon to his fate. It's going to be more incremental leads, but as you were saying, Veddy, it doesn't translate in a sizable gold lead. There are 2 dragons taken by BLG, Chemtech Soul on the Rift here, but Chovy on this Corki, this is not what he's about. It's not about the early to mid game, it's about the mid to late game. So I think for BLG, getting that mid lane turret is going to be huge. When you start choking Gen G out of vision, this time around, outside of the ultimate from Keen, there's no easy face check. Even Canyon, who obviously is the tankiest member, is going to get shredded in second if he just walks into a brush.
Have to be so respectful of the Vex and the Vi together, the duo with a ton of burst damage in this game, as well as the lethality Callista. Mid-game, really where BLG's composition can take over. For now, Gen G dead even in gold. They're feeling good. Yes, there are 2 Drakes. If they can deny a third, they buy so much more time for Chovy. 5 grub buff is big, or 4 grub buff, obviously, with the 5 overall. Big for BLG, but they have to find a way to push this lead forward.
Now look at these lane assignments. They've actually sent Knight down to bot lane. They want Ben in a position to quickly collapse. Both DPs are, of course, available. But it's Chovy now going for the reset. As I imagine we're going to be setting up for this Herald. Will that item be completed for Chovy?
Bit delayed, obviously, as he did off the Hex Drinker.
His back actually got interrupted. I think, did he cancel it?
Waiting. Will Chovy complete his item?
He will. There we go. I know Chovy. He's gonna. Oh,
okay.
Never mind.
He TP'd bot too. He TP'd bot. Hang on.
Doesn't feel like they're in a
that's
strong
a
enough
free
position
Herald
to fight.
Yeah, I guess so.
Free Herald from the side of BLG. We talked about it before. This is clearly the time where BLG really want to fight. Gen G willing to concede a lot around the map, not to give them that fight. Herald already dropped. Easy angle to try and approach mid here. You can see Pace stepping up to try to clear the wave, but Knight waiting in the fog. Has been spotted? Has not been spotted? Now going to go for the Shadow Surge. Doesn't hit, crucially.
Scary, scary, scary. But, oh my.
There he goes. Destiny now coming in on, trying to turn it back. Excellent use. He managed to stun the Lucian. On, just got away with murder. Hostile takeover, saving his life.
Nice auto attack there. Keen throws the card at his buddy. He's like, whoa, why are you doing that to me?
That's the theoretical thing that every Renata player dreams of that literally never happens.
I've never seen that happen before.
TP trying to punish. Recall coming in. Bin wants to interrupt Chovy. Chovy caught stopping for a brief moment. Didn't see Bin coming. Bin now locking him up in melee range. Has already used the pullback. Chovy holding onto the valve for a moment, but he can't get over the wall. Bin on the chase. Has used the ghost. Chovy, he's just going to get knocked down. Doesn't want to give an assist away. And Bin, making Jengdu come alive with a solo on the side lane.
Listen to that crowd roar. Gen.G have been getting the better of BLG, but now the momentum is completely shifted. All of the agency that Gen.G has had in the previous 2 games seems to have been stripped away from them, as the Herald now being dropped mid, and BLG looking for another tower.
Trying to find the angle. Has the passive up with the fear. The charge now coming in, breaking mid lane. You mentioned it earlier, Chronicle, excuse me.
That's fine.
Yeah, I missed a little thing. But here we are, breaking open mid lane, now shifting their attention to bot. BLG, again, just upping the pace of the game so rapidly, matching topside, forcing a response.
Not giving Gen.G the opportunity to start scaling into this game. There is still a lot of team fighting power with this Corki when you get to mid to late. But BLG, they're not just fighting Gen.G on these timers. They're not just playing around Chovy's package. Instead, look for constant punishes. Bin getting the kill is big. There is still a contest possibility though for Gen.G. But if you end up losing this one, I think the gold deficit is going to just get harder and harder to come back from. And we'll see if they're actually willing to fight here, because when you look at the spikes, they're not looking that strong. But it's a soul point for BLG if they pick this up.
You can see here the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. Big lead for Shun. The buy, level 10.
That shutdown for Bin.
That's going to be big. Bin with the lead because of that pick on to Chovy. But Gen.G first on the setup. Package available for Chovy. BLG have to respect that cooldown. Bin a bit of a sidestep there. Gold card locked for Keen as they just hover in Fog of War. Shun on the flank will be spotted out by the Sapperling. And another flank coming. Now Bin stepping up.
Big
pulling onto Elk is a solid start to the fight. Pull back onto the jungler, trying to get him out of the pit. Canyon in the midst of everything, though. He just wants to get this back. Ulti's traded left and right. Tidal wave. Not a lot of effect, and it's still Shun next to the Drake. Shun trying to turn it back, but it is Canyon who will deny with the steal. Knight connects on the Shadow Surge, but it doesn't look like they want to take the fight. BLG need to get the hell out. It's Keen stepping up, a handshake to disengage on knowing this one's over, but Keen's not finished yet. Bail out, absolutely nothing out here for the side of BLG.
A one-team fight from Gen.G. The culling was crucial.
That was really good.
The ulti from Lehens to zone the backline from the fight was massive, as Gen.G now threatened the tier 1. Bubble.
Forward, solid start, pays. Trying to find the follow-up, but it's Chovy who will get the kill in the end.
That is
Even
amazing.
if Gen.G doesn't get the fight, just getting the Drake alone is huge because it delays.
Now it's a 1.2k gold lead. Holy shit. That's
so much
insane.
Standing, and BLG's comp really relies on being the aggressor, being the one going in, getting that backline access, but a lot gets invested into trying to kill Canyon. But due to the fact that he's Maokai, it's so hard to reliably lock this man down. There's the wave, and then Keen here and Lehens keep on Elk and Knight away from this fight. There isn't really any recompense for BLG as they get chased down in the extended fight.
BLG kind of grasping at straws, right? Going for the 50-50, knowing it was their best option. If they had gotten it, they might have felt like that trade was worthwhile. Because they lose the Drake, because they lose the kills, Gen.G now in a winning position with the gold advantage and starting to feel much more confident on the map.
So BLG's comp works really well at just killing a single target really fast, right? Because you've got Lethality, Callista, you've got the dive coming out from Knight and Jun. In that last fight, if they had collapsed onto Canyon once the ult had come through, it could have been a one-team fight. The problem was that the follow-up just didn't quite come together, and so BLG ended up being very split.
Pays dashing in, getting a bit of a chunk onto On.
Gen.G, if they can leverage the single target CC they have.
Destiny now coming out, they want perfect information. It's Bin on the side. Bin finding multiple members. Tidal wave to immediately disengage. Culling now fired back. Pays, blinking health bar, but Gen.G the ones on the chase.
The disengage is so powerful from Gen.G. BLG were very keen to get in the thick of that fight, but the Maokai ultimate, the Nami ultimate are such difficult walls to get past that BLG are struggling to find.
One roots, the other knocks him out.
He can ignore all of that, but the rest of his team can't. So while he is seeing, use this ghost, got into the enemy backline, the rest of the team just can't walk through that choke point. So they just have to watch Bin. He gets to disengage. The play up working out there, and this is Gen.G. Now, once Corki gets to that third item, these fights are going to get even harder.
Yeah.
The poke is actually going to start mattering more and more.
Well, so this is the thing, right? While Knight had a really good laning phase, as we transitioned more into the mid game, he was grouping up a little bit more with his team, spending less time in the side lane. But Chovy, I mean, he was Chovying, right? He was
as he often does.
As he often does, to his namesake. And he was dedicated to just making sure that he was staying relevant in farm. And while he did get caught out on a side lane, look at that gold difference. 1.4k. 2 fully completed items. He's likely working towards the Malignance next. He's got 2 levels up on Knight. Admittedly, Knight about to take over to level 12. But the side lane control is so much more in favor of Gen G. And even though BLG were off to such a great start, the momentum is shifting. And we're seeing how hard it is for this dive comp to work against the amount of utility that Gen G's comp provides.
Playing for a bit of vision there. All of BLG grouping up. Again, the potential for them to one-shot an isolated target with the Vex, with the buy, is there, but need to find that perfect angle, and Gen G backing off, giving them that respect.
They're so reliant on getting the resets also because particularly with the Renata, right? Actually being able to get value out of that bailout is so pivotal here in the extended fight. The damage
but
of
also
the
Knight's
in particular,
ultimate, right? You just want to go pop, pop, pop.
Exactly. If you're not able to do so, you lose so much of your comp's power, and this is Gen G with a really good disengage composition.
Look at Jun's angle, though. He has good information. The dragon spawns in a minute's time. You mentioned earlier that Gen G can afford to give this one up if they want to wait longer.
Even try and play for Baron.
Should. Walking up immediately and trying to lock down Lahans. That's the follow coming in for Knight, but the ulti crucially does not connect. There is no follow for the side of BLG. Shadow Charge not hitting, major cooldown gone, and now BLG needs to get the hell out. Keen stepping up, hostile takeover not coming in quite quick enough, and now Elk is looking to turn it. The damage coming in for the Callista bubble, hitting 3. It's clutch from Lahans to stop the turn. Pays calling through. Been trying to body block, but BLG getting rushed down. BLG being pushed off the objective, pushed off the mid lane.
Keen still has the ultimate, chooses not to commit it, but the combo doesn't work for BLG. They thought they'd caught Lahens out, but the timing of the ultimate from Knight was off. That gave time for Lahens to flash, and then Jun is just stuck there. He's stuck in the middle of 5 Gen G members who quickly take him out. The TP is now coming through.
Pays, big chunk onto On.
They can't contest this, they don't have the HP bars.
Big thing here is with On so low, no ultimate available. I don't know if you should.
Walking up into Pays, a risky proposition, trying to keep him out of that choke. TF Destiny now coming in. Bin off to the side, but they spot the flank coming. Keen, the flash out from On. Auto attack going forward, Knight locked up. Keen finding the angle. Keen on the back line. Everybody pulling out the bailout, not quite there. Bin, though, trying to make the difference. Pulling Canyon back. Shun, is he ready for the follow-up? 3 blinking off to the side of BLG, but they want to make the fight happen. And it is Bin in the clutch. Keen tries to find the angle, but now he's caught between 3. Has to run for his life, and Bin's not done yet. Nice backstep on the bubble. Will be forced to walk away briefly, but Bin sparks hope for the side of BLG.
It's the heroics of Bin. Chovy doesn't have TP. I don't know if he can get here as they go on
Keen. Keen out following. It's the power of the Callista, but Keen here trying to get one back. Bail out there to the side. Any potential turn. Canyon amongst 3. Canyon gonna try to take down Elk. Ulti again from Knight going wide. Canyon trying to find space, but he's still living for a brief moment. He flashes out in Knight. The team of BLG, they're gonna risk the 50-50.
Here comes Chovy!
Canyon buying space. Chovy on the way.
Let's go!
The extended exchange will finally secure the Drake.
What are these HP bars? Everyone on BLG was so
What a
low.
crazy fight.
Bin ends up dying in the end. Well, how did he die? What? Whoa! Chovy!
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Find the package. Is that a Baron?
There's no TP on Knight. He's going to be dead for 34 seconds.
No, okay, the Baron is a little too risky, but what a crazy sequence of events.
Wow.
Gen G just couldn't find any kills, but it ends up being a dragon secured for Gen G.
BLG
Holy.
introduced just a little bit of chaos as this starts off looking completely unplayable here for BLG. On's almost dead, Keen's on a flank, but crucially, the target selection just isn't there. And the moment that anyone on GT walks off, there is Bin on the Cassante. He was a nightmare for Gen G last year, and he's won here again as he takes down the biggest damage threat that Gen G have.
Chovy can Chovy, but Cassante can Cassante, and Bin did exactly that. He oversteps his bounds though. He goes to toe with the one and only Chovy. He gets a kill onto Lahens, but Chovy trades it back. What a crazy sequence of events. But crucially, the most important thing about all of this is Chovy just completed Malignance. He has a 3k gold lead overnight, a 3-level lead overnight. This monster in the mid lane is fully online.
This is crazy.
BLG will have to overcome him if they want to bring it.
Bin is trying so hard. Bin is trying so hard. Holy shit.
Trying to make the hero play, trying to be the one to make the difference in the clutch. And again, he came up successful, but is it enough to bring BLG back into this game? Has to respond to this wave. Destiny coming out from Keen. Just trying to get a bit of information here so the team can approach the Baron, clear out the vision.
Knight has a 3-level deficit. 3 levels!
Yeah.
So
so
much base damage is being lost, sitting on the same level as Shun is, on the same level as Elk. And Bin's heroics was enough in that fight, but now that Corki is at the free item point, it's going to be so much harder. BLG though, we saw there, and that's something that I think Gen G is going to remember from their last couple of series as well. Can never be counted out. If anyone on
Lucian finished
Chovy
Nabori.
walks up to a wave, gets taken down at the start of a fight, you know BLG are immediately going to start that Nash, but disengage on Gen G is going to become an even bigger problem as we get later into the game.
This is the time it is truly terrifying to play against Gen G. Their discipline around the map, their macro, what they're known for. The fact that they showed up today and fought fire with fire in so many of these early games, probably catching a lot of BLG fans off guard, but this is the place where they are their most lethal. It's on BLG to find the angle against all of the little cats in the brushes, against the destiny of the Twisted Fate. They have to somehow surprise Gen G, find the pick, find the setup necessary to bring themselves back into this game.
And the biggest surprise for me coming in is the fact that Pays and Lahens, I don't think that they could have done what they did without the help of Canyon. He still, to me, is the biggest contributor. But the fact that the 2v2, I was expecting coming into today that was going to be so lopsided. I don't think Pays and Lahens have necessarily had a standout performance, but the expectation versus reality still, I think also not what BLG was expecting.
Certainly not. The Senna nullifying the first 2 games in so many moments. Kalista in game 3, now the Lucian, Nami in game 4. Lahens hitting so many bubbles, so many disengages. Gen G, no. Shun, Chovy stepping up, Poke coming through, Canyon trying to collapse. Luckily the empowered blast cone there to take Shun out.
Tension continues to mount. BLG's backs are against the wall. Now, of course, they will have the
Sure.
bracket if they fall today, but they don't want to fall hit. Nice
Hope
damage.
for Pays is good. Dashes in, dashes out. Bin now locked up. Cat's coming over the wall to follow up. Nature looking to grasp, looking to lock down. BLG the wave there to follow as well. Fate's call to get a bit more space, but Gen G forcing BLG back, setting their sights on the Nash. They can collapse on Shun on the flank.
Keen, he has ult. 10, 8 seconds, 7 seconds.
Oh, there's no way. The rest of the team is going to have to try and help him. Shun though, so
Shun,
fast.
run.
Knight waiting, hovering around.
He gets out.
Wow, okay, he's actually able to survive.
Nothing happened.
TP back in. Look at On's HP though. Elk trying to vamp back up.
Flash,
Whoa.
dash, desperation from the side of BLG.
I mean, he thought that he'd caught Pays out of position, but a nice response. And now the Baron is being
It's 100%
forced.
the Hail Mary. They need a miracle now. In Chengdu in front of the home crowd. Anticipation. The flank coming in from Keen, BLG being heralded to their demise, but Bin once again wants to make the difference, pulling back onto 3, in goes 9 to the backside, locking multiple members of the Fear, but he's already getting shredded through, and Pays is still standing. There's absolutely no follow-up on the illusion, but finally, Chovy will drop. Hope for a brief moment for BLG, the flash over the wall coming in is clutch. BLG, it shouldn't be possible, but they're finding the way in the fight. Keen with the gold card will lock up Bin. Pays is still standing. Pays stands tall, and Bin drops. Elk running for the hills, and Gen G taking the fight.
And another wave from Lahens, not going to find Elk, but it's Gen G that gets the team fight win in the end. And the one member that has been criticized most on this roster has been Pays, but in these team fights, he is not going down.
An ace is secured for Gen G. A phenomenal display of talent from both sides.
We're not done.
But the objective does not go down. We look back at the fight, and Bin with a great way to start things off. A 2-man knocker. The follow-up from Knight barely does anything, but it's enough to set up the play for Bin to chase down Chovy. Meanwhile, Pays gets isolated, but it doesn't matter. Keen is able to lock down a member on the backside, but Pays is able to navigate his way through the fight. A clutch bubble from Lahens as well. These are crazy team fights. So many members at the very cusp of losing their life. But it is Gen G that stands strong.
In the end, Gen G gets Soul Point, but no Soul. BLG already got the 2. And yes, a 3K gold lead. It's something, but we see these team fights still feel so tense. Bin doing an unreasonable amount of heavy lifting here.
I mean, the problem is Knight is just so weak. He's only got 2 items. He's nearly 4K behind. He's about to get Flame Horizon by Chovy. And Chovy is on one of his best champions. Level 16, the Rockets are fully maxed out, and the Baron will begin once more.
Package is there. I don't know if BLG can contest this. There is so much Fred here from Gen G. They need to find a pick.
15 seconds on the package timer, give or take, but they don't have perfect information on it. Can they interrupt this? Gold card in on the ball breaker, still going to dash forward. Shun getting deleted, now going to the backside of the fight. Canyon gets an excellent angle on the ulti. Now going to try to fall over to the backside, and instantly, Lahen's now taken down, Cripple for a bit extra healing, and now it's Elf, the one who's coming alive. The lethality, Callista taking over, pace, shut down. BLG found their moment.
This time around, they waste so much just killing Shun. Shun's not the main goal.
Trying to take on out, trying to get something, trying to delay it, but Chovy will fall. Gold card, not enough. Chengdu roars for the side of BLG.
Okay.
A great team fight from BLG as they swing the momentum ever so
Ben is
slightly
trying
back
so
in their
hard.
favor. They're showing that the fights are possible to win as they're able to lock down pace. But listen to that crowd roar as they try to revitalize hope back into BLG.
Crucially, 30 seconds on Chovy doesn't have his TP available. So BLG, we're seeing the pinks go down. They're on their way to Baron. And Gen G,
Giving out void staff.
I don't think they're going to be able to contest this. Canyon looking for a steal was possible, but highly risky.
Not the fastest Baron, though. Sustained damage, not the strength of BLG's composition, but they'll start it anyway.
He's on his way.
Good night, sitting off in the fog of war. His
No
ultimate is
flash.
available.
Knight, no flash.
Canyon doesn't have the flash to get into the pit. I think this Baron is secured.
AK trying to zone them back. It's taking a bit of time. Paige trying to step up and poke. Ulti goes in. Been there to body block. Knight
Waiting for the fight.
using the space. 2K. Colin coming out. Baron taken down. Genji now backing up. Just wanted to poke. What else can they do? Accepting the defeat there. Don't want to risk anything else. BLG with the Baron.
Spectators to the objective. Without Chovy, they just don't quite have the poke. BLG stands strong, and they demonstrate their world-class team fighting. It's Jun that gets caught out. He does what he can by utilizing the ultimate. Look at Bin on the side as well, but it's this crucial fear that connects the Renata ultimate onto 3, along with the knock-up from Elkin on. They were massive in that team fight.
Oh, the poke. It's the 1-2 there, as you're saying, Vedi. On one hand, Knight finding CC on, layering on top, and then Genji also using a package only to kill the Vi, not one of the more crucial members.
This bot lane from BLG. They're stepping up when they need to. I mean, admittedly, a lot of the heavy lifting is being done by Bin to set up, and the reason why BLG are even at this point in this game is because of what he's been able to do on Cassante. But I keep my eyes on Chovy. Close to level 17, the Void Staff finished. With the Baron buff, BLG will have control over the map. They have push in mid, push in bot. They're setting up for the next dragon and looking to chip away at some of these towers.
Genji grouping on the bottom side. They know they have to concede at least one tower, willing to give up mid lane tier 2. Careful not to overstep. Losing a fight when the enemy has Baron would be the end of this game, would take us to game 5. Genji overall still incredibly strong, the quirky, powerful.
Might not be the end of it, because right now, it looks like BLG is going to pick up the Drake, so we're going to go possibly to 7 Drakes before the soul point is taken by either team. Genji does have an okay amount of vision, obviously has the TF ult as well, but I don't think they're going to be contesting for this one. Just want this timer on the Baron to run out, because the Rebel Baron power play hasn't been that impactful. Got a turret or 2, but outside of that, inhib standing, base still up. Are we gonna, it's gonna come down to another team fight. Genji though, they're making their way over.
23 seconds and they're first to the objective.
This game is just delivering on all fronts.
Oh!
Genji at the precipice of making their way to a final at MSI. Chovy would be his first international final, whereas BLG looking to keep this series alive. The Dragon is up. Keen separated from the team, but he has his ultimate. About to tick over. There it is, level 17. The Dragon started off by BLG.
Genji happy with this. Chovy
the
damage
poke.
is real. Knight, the last remaining member of the victorious JDG roster, but Ben wants a trophy for himself, wants to take us to a game 5. Pulling Canyon back in the meantime. Knight now getting poked out by Chovy though, and it's a disaster. Canyon still standing. BLG ushered into the pit. The soul will go to Gen G. It'll take a miracle. The hostile takeover. Not going to do enough. 4K getting lower. The reset now coming in. Knight TBing back to the fight. Trying to find an angle. Everyone flashing out. Soul to the side of Gen G.
But no one dies. A lot of summoners being used. We'll see if Gen G wants to turn.
Amazing fight by Gen G.
But everyone in BLG gets out.
Sorry, I'm just planning lunch with my bestie.
The damage from Chovy was just crazy there.
It's rare to hear him, to see him message me.
In the fight. He was
So.
completely removed. Chovy asserting his dominance as he forced Knight back to base, and BLG forced to retreat. The soul now secured. The Elder an opportunity in 5.5 minutes.
Crucially, so much shred available, and again,
just watch Chovy. I mean, you just have to watch him on the back line. The damage is a single rocket taking out Knight, and then the culling on the side as well. Pays melting them in the Baron pit. A two-pronged attack from Gen G, where BLG they couldn't do anything. They just had to retreat.
You can clench Nami
Opportunity
bubble?
once the health bars are already that low. BLG gonna find themselves lucky that they're able to get out there in the first place. Elk in particular, if that GA gets procced, that's
I am
such a
so
big cooldown.
confused.
No longer available to them. You see as well, Gen G itemization.
Never
It's
seen someone
basically
cleanse a Nami
targeting
bubble.
Void Staff, Lord Doms, Terminus for Keen. Everything to try and take this Cassante down so that they can get to the rest of the team. The squishy members, the Chovy and Pays are going to be able to blow up in seconds.
And it's Chemtech. I mean, the entire composition of BLG relies on bursting down a member, maybe finding a Vex reset or approaching a fight favorably by killing Chovy or Pays as quickly as possible so Bin can run rampant. And now it is that much harder because of this soul.
Oh yeah. You're definitely right. It's so effective at mitigating burst. The extra resistances you get when you're below 50% just offers so much value.
There's a Knight's Vow, there's a Locket, they have so many luxury item purchases. And Lehentz has been hitting just about every bubble in these fights. BLG, I think they probably get one more shot, one more excellent team fight. But if they get it, they have to end the game immediately. It doesn't get any easier.
That said, we're getting to the point in the game where one convincingly win team fight can be the end. And if we go way back to the fight in mid that happened, I think about 10, 12 minutes ago, Chovy flashing there, even though there wasn't really a chance for the kill, just because he wanted to maximize his damage. This man had so many second places in the LCK, had so many disappointments. Never been to an international final. And on the Corki, this is the point where you want to get. This is the point, and we saw it in that last fight.
I mean, this game really is all about him. He said that he wanted to prove that he wasn't just the best. He was by far the best. And I mean, I'm going to have to say that he is getting the better of Knight in this series.
Yep.
Of course, Knight can still turn this around. A single ultimate can change everything.
Well, honestly, Knight's shown if he's not playing.
Team fight. They don't start it. They get the Twisted Fate ultimate. The bot wave is a bit awkward for Gen G, but they'll likely just abandon it for now. Back out onto the map, and there's the package for Chovy. If anyone were to force a Baron, now would be a good time for Gen G. They'll catch the mid wave, and they can just use the Baron to start a fight on their terms.
Double GA. Poke has to land here, particularly on.
I mean, here we go.
Gen G in the pit, focusing on
This
the objective.
melts.
Package is there, getting shredded. Shun looking to lock down Chovy, immediately gonna ult. The faulty now gonna take him back, though. Package keeping him safe. They're trying to force the fight, but Gen G, Pays still standing. Baron's still up in the meantime, but Gen G find the advantage. One member already down, Shun out of the equation. Knight going gold, and Gen G again finding their angle. The Baron will start to release, and Knight will drop. Bailout not enough. Elk running, they're desperately trying to kill Pays, and now it is a story. It's been so many times in this series. It has been versus the world. Elk and On doing their best to support, but Chovy getting chunked out. The spears are still lethal from the side of Elk, but the rocket is there. The big one for Chovy. The finish to the fight. Gen G about to end it here. BLG crumbling in the face of the Baron. Gen G discipline in the fight.
BLG will be picked apart in the fight. Gen G
Jesus.
spread out,
Crazy.
and they take them down one by one. The Baron now uncontested is easy pickings for Gen G.
I thought they were going to look for the ends, but they don't want to risk it. TP on Knight, TP on Bin. They don't want to walk into a trap. Instead, they're just going to go for the Baron here.
They're low.
They're low.
They're low.
I think this should still be fine between Chovy and Canyon.
That's TP, but no great wards here for BLG. Crucially, Gen G still going to be able to break the inhib, but the Baron, a colossal win because it sets up this Elder Dragon.
I mean, we look back at this fight, and the lockdown comes down on the Chovy, but a great use of the package takes him to safety. The dive comes down onto Keen, but look at the positioning of Pays. He gets a little worried on the backline, a good cleanse from him, but he's able to create enough space. And then the fight just becomes so disjointed as Keen and Chovy turn their attention onto Knight. Keen, the sort of unsung hero of this game, as he's dished out so much damage in the fight. Bin doing what he can, but it is not enough to win the fight for BLG.
Bin also throwing all the resources, does kill the Hens, but Pays is able to stay away from on an Elk. They were trying to kill the AD carry. If they'd gotten him, that could have been big, but he was able to flash over the wall as they were thrown at him as
Bin again trying to make the difference to pull back there. Bubble good from the side of Gen G. Cat's now coming up to look for the disengage shot. It's disjointed. Knight can go forward, but he's only connected on the Canyon. Tidal Wave is there as well. Hostile takeover for On. Does nothing. Fate's call to pull him back. Gen G on the march. Gen G looking to put the final nail in the coffin. It's a 3-man knockup. Elf finishes the job on Canyon. They kill one, but Gen G are still stepping up. Bin wants to make the difference, but it's Pays calling Elk, cutting him down. That's not enough to bail out. Does nothing. BLG about to lose it all.
Chovy, he's gonna do it! He's gonna make his first international final!
Chovy amongst his brothers, backed by Canyon, the entire team. He will make it to the international final, waiting for a worthy challenger.
Alright, like I said, 3-1, I called it!
Showcased some world-class team fight.
See, that game 1 draft? That game 1 draft was just dog shit. And then Gen G showed that
was able to come out on top.
they just ought to win.
So many were excited.
Bin couldn't carry his fat teammates. Like, Knight was so fat, bro.
But it was
He broke the pendulum scales. Shit was insane. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for T1 G2. Hopefully G2 scores an upset because T1 is washed. Mashallah. Have a good day.